Hello. Oh boy, it's Seventh Heaven time. Are you ready for Seventh Heaven? Because I am. I'm ready. This might be my favorite season so far. Probably also the most insane season that I've seen so far. That's for sure. We're not unhinged to the level where a boy is threatening to jump off a building because his mom got him hunky boy jeans instead of the pants that he wanted.
You know, threatening to jump off a building is not the way to solve your problems.
Are you blind? These are hunky boy jeans. I'd rather be dead than be the guy that has to wear these pants all through high school.
This season, we're more in the realm of just pure insanity. Like, the decisions that people make don't make any sense. The plot lines of this season are just absolutely wild, but it does provide some great entertainment. If this is your first Seventh Heaven video, welcome. We've been covering all the seasons. You can watch this one without watching the other ones. You might be slightly confused because there are a lot of characters, but alas, you are welcome to join at this late hour. Seventh Heaven is comfort cringe for anyone to enjoy. The story follows a family of 9, Eric and Annie, and then their kids, Matt, Mary, Lucy, Simon, Ruthie, David, Sam. Ranging in age from the twin boys being age 1 to 2 in this season, up to Matt, the oldest. He is like 23 now or something like that. He's an adult doing adult things, kind of. Mary is also an adult now. She's out of high school. Lucy is in her senior year of high school. Simon is just starting high school. And Ruthie's like 9 to 10 right now. I gave those ages in a really weird order, but I don't care. Season 5, baby. Let's talk about season 5. Episode 1 begins with Eric and Annie having a conversation in their bedroom about Annie wanting to start school.
I signed up for school today. I want to get my teaching credentials.
Now? You do know we have 7 kids.
Eric then proceeds to go on an insane exposition dump about how all of their children are nightmare menaces.
Who says that Lucy won't have the kind of senior year that Mary had? And Simon is starting high school. High school boys are, well, they're high school boys.
Especially Ruthie, for some reason.
We shouldn't forget Ruthie, who is well on her way to being more difficult than all the other kids rolled into one.
All their kids are terrible, and that's why Annie can't go back to college.
So what are you saying? The whole family is so dangerous that I can't take 1 or 2 hours away from them to take one course?
Annie then tells Eric that she already signed up for college and she starts class in the morning at 8 a.m., which she didn't tell Eric prior to just now when he said, no, you can't do school. I need you here with the kids because all our kids are insane. And Annie's like, well, I went back to school anyway. I start tomorrow.
I'm going back to college.
Fine.
You might want to get some sleep because I have class at 8.
First of all, Eric, jerk for not wanting her to do college, and Annie, jerk for not telling Eric she already signed up for college. Guys, communicate, please. Eric ends up being fine with it, I guess, because she goes to college, supposedly, for the rest of this season. I mean, we never see her at college. We don't see her studying or doing homework or going to class, but she does mention it a couple times, that she's been a little more busy because she's in one single class.
I aced my test!
They do kind of an introductory music montage of all the kids in the house. They're all dancing to different kinds of music. Ruthie's dancing with the twin boys, you know, being a big sister. Lucy is going through her clothes in her closet, picking out a cute outfit, and Simon's was my favorite. So if you remember from previous seasons, Simon was in his tough guy era. Simon is now entering his bad boy era, and that is obvious by how they choose to introduce him this season. Pulls out a fake electric guitar and pretends to play guitar along with the music, because that's what teenagers do all the time, obviously. Mary gets a silly dance introduction as well, but she doesn't get hers until episode 3. Mary gets pretty discriminated against in this season. Part of me thinks that they, intentionally left Mary out in the musical intros for the first episode just to be mean to her. Maybe they felt a little bit bad about it and gave her one in episode 3. That's just me being a little conspiracy theorist. Mary gets to dance to the song Love Shack, so here's a little clip of that.
Got me a Chrysler and it's about 20 so.
Yeah, this is Simon's bad boy era. It begins with him TPing a house to make friends.
These guys got caught TPing a yard.
Bonus. I made a friend.
He makes one friend and his friend is Jim, and then we don't ever see Jim again. Catching up with Mary, she's trying to adult.
You bought Matt a car. Why can't you buy me a car?
Matt was going to college. You, on the other hand, are not going to college. You're working, so you can buy your own car.
And Mary cannot hold a job to save her life.
How much money have you saved over the summer?
Saved on what I make? Please.
But at least she broke up with Robbie. She did do that. During this episode, Mary's doing her first shift as a waitress at the pool hall, okay? So new job she's trying. 3 hours into her first shift as a waitress, she gets a $20 tip. She is so excited about this $20 tip and the potential buckets of money that she's gonna make that she goes to buy a car 3 hours into her first shift.
I'd have to give my boss, the owner, a good reason for why you left. You have a good reason?
I do. I'm going to buy a car.
She leaves work to go buy a car because she got a single $20 tip. That's where Mary's headspace is at this season, and it doesn't get better. Last season, Lucy had this weird back and forth with this guy named Andrew Nalos. At the end of last season, they decided that they were in like with each other and they were now dating each other, okay?
What about love?
Don't push it.
We learned that apparently Andrew's dad did not want him dating Lucy, so his dad shipped Andrew off to Europe for the summer just to keep him away from Lucy. Lucy and Andrew had this agreement over the break that they could date and make out with as many people as they want. They could do whatever they want over the summer, and then when he comes back from Europe, they're gonna reconnect and be boyfriend-girlfriend again. They had a don't ask, don't tell agreement. Lucy hoed around this summer a little bit, made out with a lot of guys. Everybody in the school knows about it, and Andrew found out about it while in Europe. And even though technically there was nothing wrong with Lucy making out with as many boys as she wanted to that summer, Andrew got really jealous and decided that he was going to get a girl pregnant.
I did a really stupid thing.
He didn't intentionally get her pregnant, but pregnancy was the result of what Andrew did this summer to get back at Lucy for making out with a ton of guys. Oh yeah, and also Andrew flew all the way back to America to tell Lucy that he's gonna stay in France.
And I'm going back to France to live.
He goes to France to be a dad. This is classic Seventh Heaven. This is what we're looking for today.
She's from Ohio, but she's got family in Provence.
Matt. There was a time when Matt was young and innocent and was my favorite character. These days, not so much. Matt has gone down the ranks quite a bit. I'd say Lucy is in my #1 spot at the moment. Love Lucy, but we're talking about Matt. Matt. At the end of last season, Matt was going to have an elopement with Heather, his longtime on and off again girlfriend, but in reality, she just goes back to Matt when she's not with anybody and is constantly dating other people and doesn't actually love Matt, in my opinion. But Matt is always and forever whipped for Heather, in love with Heather. So they were going to get married at the end of last season. And I did say that hands will be thrown if this wedding does not work out. If this marriage does not work out, there will be hands thrown.
Do you, Heather, take Matt to be your lawful wedded husband?
I'm sorry. I need a minute.
Oh no.
Yeah, Heather leaves him at the altar. They had been back together for 10 minutes and Matt was like, let's get married. So they go to the chapel and they're gonna get married and Heather comes to her senses. She's level-headed. She's like, no, actually, we shouldn't get married right now. We just got back together. Matt felt really rejected by that. So all summer long, they've kind of been dating, but they haven't. And Matt had his feelings really hurt that she left him at the altar, but they never talked about it. They haven't talked about it at all. They've been just fighting all summer. So Matt really wants to break up with her, but he wants her to break up with him. He's being weird about it and avoiding because Matt is absolutely terrible at communicating. This is something we know very well about Matt.
I just can't. I mean, if I was gonna break up with her, I should have done it after the wedding. That didn't happen. Now it's too late. She has to break up with me.
Heather actually does end up breaking up with Matt because they have been fighting all summer because he won't communicate with her. She was kind of like, hey, I just wasn't ready to get married. And he's like, oh, I can't believe you wouldn't marry me really quickly without thinking about it first. And now my feelings are hurt, but I don't want to tell you that and talk about it. And so then they just break up. They broke up. Oh my God. It's probably for the best, honestly. It's probably for the best. Believe it or not, Matt actually turns into even more of a sleazebag by the end of this season, which I did not think was possible. One plotline I did not expect to continue. Last season, Ruthie had this plot where there was a teacher at school who was calling her stupid, caused this whole drama, and all the parents revolted against this teacher. She didn't get fired, but she got a talking to. Don't call the kids stupid, okay? This year, Ruthie's starting a new class. The teacher that was supposed to be teaching them didn't show up, so they decided to have Ruthie's old teacher, who called her stupid, now be her new teacher.
Remember Ms. Riddle from last year? Well, she's been promoted to the 4th grade along with you.
She called me stupid last year. She called me moron.
Ruthie is very, very upset that this teacher is now her teacher again, and this all culminates in her in class standing up and giving a big speech about how unfair it is that the children's rights are not paid attention to.
Our new principal, as well as Ruthie Camden's parents, insist that she be allowed to express herself.
Becomes this whole activist speech and goes into like school lunches and school shootings and stuff. It escalates very quickly.
Are we tired of being told to be quiet? Yes. And why do we have to be here at the crack of dawn? Ketchup as a vegetable? I don't think so. Aren't you scared that someone is going to shoot you or someone at school is going to get shot? I am. And why can't someone do something for the kids who get hit every night when they go home? I don't just need a new teacher. We need a revolution.
The kids liked it, at least.
Yeah! Ruthie! Ruthie!
Good speech, Ruthie.
Ketchup as a vegetable? I don't think so. Yeah!
We get a resolution to Ruthie's school problems in the next episode. Thank goodness for us, because I know we were all dying to know how this storyline pans out. In episode 2, Ruthie is trying to figure out a way she can get out of this class with this teacher who called her stupid. She ends up asking God for help with this conundrum, this situation.
Your principal called this morning. He thinks he may have found a way to get you out of Miss Riddle's class.
Thank God.
What'd you say?
Thank God. You should thank God.
You prayed to get out of Miss Riddle's class?
I just thought you and Mom could use some help.
Turns out, Ruthie is a super genius. Yeah. There's these tests that they take, and Ruthie's getting like super genius scores.
When all the kids in the 3rd grade were given a basic skills test.
Yeah, Ruthie did very well.
Actually, she tested off the charts.
And the principal's like, I think that Ruthie's struggling in school because she's too bored.
Her grades are just average. No, I think it's because she's bored.
She's too smart for this school, so you should send her to another school. Ruthie qualifies for this hippie art horse girl school that helps genius children who need different kinds of learning, like Ruthie.
Ruthie would do very well at Eleanor Roosevelt.
Yeah, but that's a private school.
An excellent private school. One of their students was just admitted to college.
A 3rd grader's going to college?
No, I believe it was someone from the 6th grade class.
This magical horse girl school.
They have horses. Horses!
The school offers both English and Western style instruction.
And there's no homework.
At night, they should be free to relax and be kids.
I don't have to be at school till 10.
Not every student does his or her best work early in the morning.
Thank you, God, for making a horse girl school in Southern California. That sounds like a real thing. That would be a real thing, actually. That's real.
Don't think of it as a private school. Think of it as the best school.
Mary's car is ruining her life. She is very much struggling with money. Who could have seen that coming? Not me. I had no idea. She is constantly on the phone trying to bargain with her car insurance people.
Yeah, I know I said that a week ago, but I swear I just need one more week and then I can pay you.
She hasn't, paid her car insurance. And because she's on the phone all the time with the car insurance people, she gets fired from her job.
You better get out there. Your tables are stacking up.
I'll be right there.
You better. The manager's out there, and he doesn't look happy.
After getting fired, Mary just goes out and sits on a park bench. Some random older man just comes up to her and starts pestering her.
I've never seen you here before. I am here every day, and
I got fired, okay? Fired. I don't have a job. I am unemployed.
So this guy's trying to help, and he's like, oh yeah, my son got fired, but he had his college degree, and that helped him get a new job. So you always have your college degree to fall back on.
that's something they can never take away from you. something that he can always count on, his college education.
Did you catch the subliminal messaging in there? Very subtle. Well, Mary explains that she just barely graduated high school, so she doesn't have a college degree. And this man's reaction to that is insane. Like, insane.
Oh.
He just gets up and walks away. I don't have time for you, you non-graduate scum. How could I possibly sit next to a non-graduate? Like, what? She just graduated high school. Give her a second to breathe, man. You don't need to discriminate against her because of it. Like she's some kind of second-class citizen because she doesn't have a college degree. Ugh.
Oh.
Mary does end up losing her car insurance at the end of the episode, you know, because she hasn't paid it at all since she got her car. I'm surprised she even knew to get car insurance in the first place, quite frankly. But yeah, she gets fired, doesn't have money to pay her car insurance, so she loses her car insurance and then decides she's gonna drive her car anyway.
You're canceling my insurance, but you can't stop me from driving my own car.
And this is the first step Mary is taking down the path of becoming Dark Mary. Yeah, Dark Mary is awakening. Watch out for that.
Watch me!
Episode 3. First, Simon gets a date with a girl at school named Lulu. She's like a prissy blonde girl that wears cocktail dresses to school.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Probably because you're so cute.
The date doesn't work out too well, though, because Simon asks Matt to be their chauffeur for the night, which Matt agrees to, given that Simon will pay him $30. However, Matt, when he is out and about that night, ends up seeing a beautiful girl through a window, and then she invites him inside, and then he goes inside and they dance, and she's basically in love with him. He realizes he's late to pick up Simon, so he starts leaving, and she chases after him and is like, wait, how can I call you? I don't even have your number. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll give you my number, I guess. And then they make out. And under normal circumstances, this plotline would be so insignificant I wouldn't talk about it at all, but I feel like it's important to point out all of the times that Matt finds a beautiful girl that he asks out and we never see her again. This is just a pattern I've been pointing out and I will continue to point out. We do not see her again. Eric and Annie's plot is pretty interesting in this episode.
I just need to commune with a little male energy. You know, hang out with the guys.
Well, you should do that.
Eric apparently has no friends, but he wants to do guys' night. Annie tells him he needs to figure out something with guys' night because she has a meeting with her professor at 7 p.m. on a Friday.
7 o'clock Friday night is the only time he has available.
The only time.
I doubt it.
Annie's like, oh, you should do guys' night with all the other church pastors around. Eric turns that down, not because it would be weird to like go hang out with all the pastors that you know, but because Eric doesn't want to be around church people tonight.
No, I just didn't feel like being on my best behavior.
So you're just gonna go out alone?
Yeah, just gonna go shoot some pool by myself.
So Eric and Annie decide they're gonna hang out with each other, you know, when she's done with her professor.
So I'll meet you at 8.
Right.
Annie goes to meet with the professor, and he left a note on his door saying, meet me at the Gypsy Cafe. So she goes to the Gypsy Cafe, and this guy is hitting on Annie hard.
It's just so good to eat someone else's cooking.
Well, I'd love to try yours.
My?
Cooking.
Of course.
Funny woman.
Meanwhile, at the pool hall, Eric goes there by himself, by the way, and runs into a bunch of these sexy ladies who are supposedly from the church, and they're all flirting with him.
Reverend Camden! Don't you recognize us outside of church?
No, I didn't, but I do now.
Annie's dinner is running late. She's supposed to go meet up with Eric at the pool hall, but this professor guy has zero respect for her time or her boundaries. She's been like trying to talk about school and he keeps talking about other things and trying to flirt with her and shit. Convinces her to stay even longer for dessert. Annie finally meets up with Eric. They talk about how they were out flirting with other people the whole night. They talk about it in a very healthy, mature way, which is kind of cute.
Can jealousy be a good thing?
Can flirting be a good thing?
Were you flirting?
Maybe a little.
I was maybe flirting a little too.
Then they get super horny for each other, you know, after flirting with other people all night long.
We should head home.
There's nothing wrong at the house, is it?
No, I'm just anxious to get to bed.
And they decide to get a hotel room. They're so horny after flirting with other people. Like, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a strange thing to write into a TV show, you know? Now we gotta catch up with Dark Mary. She gets a new job at a pizza place. At this job, she's getting catcalled, like actually to the point of sexual harassment by some customers there.
Can I get you something else?
Yeah. I'll have your phone number written on your underwear.
They are harassing her in the dumbest, most ridiculous way.
Hey, Mary, we're saving a piece for you.
Like, the knee slap is what really got me, you know, just wow.
Saving a piece for you.
Luckily, there are these two other coworkers at this pizza place, Frankie and Johnny. And Frankie's this kind of badass girl. She shuts down the hecklers, you know, the people harassing Mary.
Do you know who you're talking to? Minister's daughter. Behave yourself.
And if we don't?
Then you're all going to hell.
Sorry, Mary.
Frankie and Johnny tried to befriend Mary by inviting her to stay after work for a while to have a beer. Uh-oh.
You want to stick around for a beer?
We have the whole place to ourselves. We turn up the music, kick back a cool one. It's kind of a Friday night ritual.
Mary says no multiple times, and they keep pushing and pushing for her to stay after and have a beer. It's like so outlandish how hard they're trying to pressure her into drinking beer. Like, it feels like they're gonna try and roofie her or something.
No, thanks.
It'll be fun.
I'm underage.
Just one, I promise. We'll have a real good time. Are you gonna hang out with us after work?
You know, I really can't. I told my little sister that I'd be home by midnight with pizza.
I'll put in a pizza for you and we'll have a drink while we wait for it.
They will not stop pushing it.
So what do you say, one beer?
Mary does decide to stay after, and she has one light beer while she's getting to know Frankie and Johnny. They actually are together and they have a baby together, but they're in a very rocky relationship. I don't like how demonized these characters are. At least Frankie, like in this storytelling, she gets way more shit than she deserves, honestly. She's in an abusive relationship. She became a mom before she was ready. Like, that's hard. That's hard shit to deal with. And I hate how they portray her as like this evil villain character because she offers Mary a beer. And there's other stuff later with them. Pretty big characters this season. Anyway, Mary's pretty tipsy after talking with them and having one beer, and then drives home drunk. Thank God she doesn't crash her car on the way home, but she does get pulled over by a cop for not fully stopping at a stop sign. And she is so lucky, man. She is so lucky. She gets off with a warning. No sobriety test or anything like that. Just, oh, well, don't run stop signs anymore. Bye. Like, chill, all right? She's in the clear. Eric and Annie catch her on the way in. She gives them some leftover pizza, and then Eric and Annie together sit there and contemplate about Mary's inevitable demise.
Cold. And she smelled like cigarette smoke.
We're gonna have to keep watching her as she continues down her self-constructed treacherous road.
Foreshadowing. Very good. Wow, foreshadowing.
Dark Mary is rising.
Episode 4, my God. Oh my God. Eric really wants to watch a movie with the family tonight, and nobody is available. Everyone wants to go out and do different things.
I was just wondering what movie you'd like to watch tonight.
You know there's never going to be another family movie night again, don't you? I've got a project for school. I'm out.
Ruthie's school project ends up being spying on the whole family that night and recording like private conversations and stuff in her journal. I don't remember why, but that's the way she interpreted her project, and that's what she decided to do. Side note, her Powerpuff Girls sweatshirt is so cute, and I want it and I need it. I need that sweater. Since Eric and Annie were the only ones doing movie night, Annie's all like, oh, I'm gonna go check on the twins to be all sneaky, and then he follows her upstairs.
I'm just gonna check on Annie.
And they totally
Oh, I love you, I love you.
And they did leave the door unlocked, and Ruthie definitely saw them and wrote about it in her journal.
Did you know Ruthie's keeping a diary?
Not now, Luz.
Fine. If you don't care she saw you having sex, why should I?
Very exciting day for the Camden family.
I always thought it was so serious because you always have this serious face when you talk about sex, but it was funny.
Simon is going out with some girl tonight, and Annie recognizes the name of this girl as someone who's like a spelling bee whiz, okay? She's this nerdy spelling bee girl.
Oh, I like Marcia Chalker. She's a very nice young woman. She was a finalist in the National Spelling Bee a couple of years ago. She was on television, remember?
No.
And how much you want to bet they integrate spelling?
Wow.
Wow. W-O-W. Wow.
Very integral part of her character.
W-O-W.
Yeah, so this girl won a spelling bee one time, and of course she is obsessed with spelling everything because, of course...
Insipid. I-N-S-I-P-I-D. Esterification. E-S-T-E-R-I-F-I-C-A-T-I-O-N.
Also, Matt ends up kind of joining on the date and driving them everywhere, and this girl ends up having the hots for Matt instead of Simon because, of course...
We better get going. The movie's gonna start. And we missed the first one because you two were gabbing.
Oh yeah, the movie.
She is flirting with Matt the entire night, and it's so obvious. But then she takes Simon to her front door, and she starts making out with Simon, which he's all happy about. But as she's kissing Simon, she's looking at Matt, parked on the side of the street in his car. I mean, she's probably like 15. Matt's like 22 or some shit. When Simon gets back to the car, Matt is like,
I thought if anyone was gonna get a goodnight kiss, it'd be me.
S-H-U-T-U-P.
you know, joking about how she was flirting with Matt the whole night. But then later, this girl calls the house looking for Matt.
Well, no, he's not here. He has his own place, you know.
You told her Simon has his own place?
No, she was looking for Matt.
But nothing ever pans out with this spelling bee girl. Okay, you can forget about her.
Yeah, do me a favor, spell Okefenokee. She spelled Okefenokee.
Since Lucy is in her senior year of high school, she has started looking at colleges to go to. So she brings home this whole big list of different college brochures. And Mary takes this as a personal offense.
You're applying for early acceptance?
She's just doing it to make me look bad.
No one's trying to make you look bad. This isn't about you.
Oh, right. That's why you put that stuff down right in front of my face.
Yeah, we're still in the dark Mary era forever, I think. Well, there's this kid from school. His name is Mike, and he's sort of like a nerdy, prudish guy.
Maybe we should give her something to write about.
If you're suggesting we make some sort of physical contact, no.
Mike offers to help Lucy apply for different colleges, and he guarantees he can get her into whichever college she wants, okay? Which, now that I think about it, this entire plot line is completely useless in the end by the season finale. Oh my god. Okay, we'll get to that. Apparently Mike's college application skills are so stellar that he has enough leverage to work out a deal with Lucy. He doesn't want to do it out of the goodness of his heart. He wants something out of helping her.
There are a lot of ways the two of us could help each other besides filling out college applications.
Mike wants Lucy to pretend that they are like together, dating.
So you'll help me fill out the applications, and in return...
I have a guaranteed date to every major event of our senior year.
Pretty big commitment for like just helping someone with a college application.
It's like an arranged marriage, only we're the ones arranging it.
But Lucy's like, all right, okay, fine, yeah, I'll date you if you get me into college.
I actually feel good about this.
After their agreement, Lucy's even like, okay, kiss me then, let's kiss. And he won't do it. He won't kiss her because he's kind of a prude a little bit.
Some are only interested in the student with very specific interests.
Shut up and kiss me.
Not until you get an acceptance letter. Good night.
Mike is so confusing to me. He is a character that lasts until the end of the season, and I just don't get him at all. I need like an in-depth psychological analysis into Mike's character because he just is so strange. It's not even that he's like nerdy or weird or whatever. It's just his motivations are so unclear to me, and what he chooses to do is so confusing. But we'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Lucy has a new kind of pretend boyfriend that's gonna help her get into college, all right?
What if we don't like going out?
It almost doesn't matter. If we don't like it at first, we'll get to like it.
After Mike leaves, Mary, in a very insensitive way, by the way, points out that she knows who Mike is.
He used to be in my class, and he took a year off from school because he went mental.
He is repeating a year of school because last year he tried to end his own life. He needed to go into an institution for a little while to make sure he was okay. And because of that, Mary calls him a mental patient and Ruthie calls him crazy.
You know how I feel about how dangerous cigarettes are.
Well, they're probably no more dangerous to your health
yourself than dating a mental patient.
Which is super insensitive and awful.
So your new boyfriend's crazy. It's not like the others were so great.
And later we learned that the whole reason Mike was trying to make a deal with Lucy is because he felt like no one would want to be his friend simply because he tried to kill himself, which is so sad. And luckily it doesn't bother Lucy. Lucy is still going to be pretend dating this guy, even though he's a mental patient. I'm joking. I hope it's clear that I'm joking. Okay. Remember how Mary was working at this pizza shop? She got let go again. This time she was just laid off. You know, she wasn't fired, at least. Well, I mean, we find out later she was fired, but she wasn't told that she was fired. She was just told that they couldn't afford to keep her. Her reasoning for getting fired is extremely dumb and hypocritical, but we will get around to that. Point is, right now, she got fired again. Even though Mary got fired, she still wants to hang out with her new friends, Frankie and Johnny. So she goes to their house. Immediately upon arrival, there are some pretty major red flags here, namely that they're yelling at each other about who is gonna make their baby shut up.
Could you shut her up?
Think you could shut her up?
And then Johnny comes out to meet Mary and hugs her for an uncomfortably long amount of time. Frankie and Johnny end up getting into another big fight, and Johnny just ends up leaving because he's a big baby, like just a big loser. And Frankie's like, yeah, he won't be back for a few hours. So then it's just Frankie and Mary hanging out with the baby. Mary ended up stealing all of Lucy's college brochures and took them over to be with Frankie so that they could both look at potentially going to college. Frankie's all about it, but she's like, I just don't really feel like doing that right now, which is sensible. I mean, she's basically a single mom of 2 children, one being a chaotic and unregulated man-child, and she's struggling. She just got in a fight. Like, yeah, I wouldn't want to look at college applications either. What she does do is pull out a joint.
Is that pot? Yeah, I just needed to mellow out. This motherhood and wife gig really sucks.
Not pot! Oh no! No! Using a joint to unwind after a shitty day? You heathen. You absolute monster! Well, you'll never guess what ends up happening. Consequences. They always come, don't they? After Mary leaves hanging out with Frankie and Johnny comes back home, somehow Frankie and Johnny get busted for having pot that night. So they go to jail for pot. Not only do they get arrested, they end up calling Eric to ask for bail money because Mary said that her dad is good at helping people. Eric does not want to help them because they got arrested for pot.
You think I should take the church's money and bail 2 people out of jail who were that irresponsible? I mean, what if they skip bail?
They are good people. They both work and they're trying to raise this kid, and it's really hard.
So hard they have to smoke pot?
Why would I help someone who smokes pot, right?
She asked me to bring over those college brochures so we could look over them and make a plan about going to school.
And did you?
No.
Well, because she was too stoned?
Oh yeah? Did you not sign up for college because you're too stoned? Eric does end up helping them, though. He does end up helping them.
I will talk to them and I'll do whatever I can other than give them money.
I'm very proud of Eric for going outside of his comfort zone, denying his prejudices, doing everything he can to help someone who clearly does not deserve it. Episode 5. Matt is at the library, and he runs into this girl who, as soon as she hears his name, she gets really weird. Because he dated Heather. She's really turned off by the fact that he dated a deaf girl.
You used to date Heather Kane, right? Heather's deaf, right?
You dated a deaf girl? That's kind of the vibe she's given.
Heather's deaf, right?
But that's not actually what's going on. It's a little misleading.
Do you want to take a break and get a cup of coffee?
No, thank you.
She rejects Matt. She does not want to go out with him. And he has another one of his can't handle rejection moments. This is the second time this has happened to him. He is spiraling because he got rejected. He goes and talks to John, who's his roommate and longtime friend.
When I asked her out, she said no.
Just face it. You, my friend, cannot deal well with rejection.
That's not true.
Matt just full-on spirals into stalking this woman. She had told him that she works at the library, so Matt went to the head librarian and asked for her phone number, and then the librarian also gave him her address. So now he has her phone number and address, and he's actually just stalking her. He calls her. She's like, leave me alone, please. And then he shows up at her house. He shows up at her house. Her brother is there. Her brother answers the door and is like, what are you doing? She told me to be here because she was scared that you were gonna show up at her door.
She doesn't want to talk to you. She's scared of you. I just wanted to talk to her. What's wrong with you? What kind of guy harasses a blind woman?
Sorry, it's just so bad.
Blind? Yes, blind.
Her brother acts as if it's just like common knowledge that this girl is blind, but like you can't tell. Like there's no physical indicators. She has something called RP, which is a condition where your eyesight gets progressively worse and worse and worse. But I guess she's blind because of it. But it's not like obvious. How is Matt supposed to know?
You look familiar.
You look familiar too.
He asks out a blind girl, not knowing she's blind, and she rejects him because she thinks he has a fetish for disabled women. That's it. That's the whole thing.
I thought maybe you were into women with disabilities.
When he clarifies that, no, he does not in fact have a fetish for disabled women, that he just likes women, she still rejects him. So there's literally no point to that entire storyline. That's it. That's the whole storyline. Really getting creative here with these storylines.
You look familiar.
Julie and Hank are in this episode. Julie calls the Camden home because she is in need of a babysitter tonight for baby Erica. They have never left Erica alone, but they want a night out to do a date.
It's her lucky day. I'm available and broke.
Mary offers to babysit, and Julie's like, you haven't been very responsible lately, so I don't think I trust you around my child.
Honestly, I'm not sure I want to leave you in charge of Erica.
But somehow Mary convinces her that she'll be responsible.
Just give me a chance to prove I'm responsible.
Okay.
Mary is excited because she's gonna get some money from babysitting because she's broke. She's like, I'm so broke.
I'm available and broke.
Broke? You're broke?
Eric is absolutely dumbfounded by this concept that Mary is broke.
When you say you're broke, what exactly does that mean?
Anyway, Mary goes to babysit. While she's babysitting, Frankie shows up with her baby, who's named Mercy. And she's like, hey, I need to go spy on Johnny because I think that he's cheating on me. So please watch Mercy while I go spy on him. Mary agrees. Mary now has Frankie's diaper bag. Inside the diaper bag, Mary finds an unopened beer. She opens the beer, just opens it, and puts it on the table in front of her and starts contemplating whether or not she's gonna drink it.
I basically have two choices. Drink it or leave it alone. If I don't drink it, it'll just go to waste. That seems wrong.
I mean, you opened it. You opened it so it wouldn't go to waste if you hadn't opened it. She decides to drink the beer. When she's babysitting, two babies now. Two babies! A little while later, couldn't have been too long because Hank and Julie haven't even ordered their food yet, but Julie calls home and the phone is off the line. So she and Hank both go home immediately.
You get the check, I'll get the car.
We haven't ordered.
Right, let's go.
In this brief amount of time, Mary has managed to find herself upstairs away from the babies while the babies are just downstairs fucking around with stuff. And again, Mary was just not there. Hank and Julie are very upset. They see that she's been ignoring the babies and she drank a beer and she's drunk. Mary's like, please don't tell my parents about this. And they say, oh, we'll think about it.
We have to think about that.
Great. Just think about it.
They kick Mary out. And Mary is just so oblivious.
Don't worry about paying me. Tonight's no charge.
Go home, Mary.
I know there are people in the world who really are like this, but it's just wild to me. The audacity of this woman.
Don't worry about paying me.
Speaking of Johnny cheating on Frankie, he is cheating on Frankie, and Eric and Annie actually catch him out in the wild cheating on Frankie. So they decide to spend the rest of their day stalking him because they've got nothing better to do. They're at the pool hall, and Frankie shows up to confront Johnny. She starts calling him a loser, and Johnny's like, don't call me a loser, and then she proceeds to just keep calling him a loser repeatedly, which is really funny.
Two timings, loser.
Don't call me a loser.
Loser.
I said shut up.
Tough words for a loser.
Then Eric tries to break up this really lackluster fight and gets himself punched in the face by Johnny. A punch that was intended for Frankie. But we're learning now that apparently Johnny does hit Frankie quite often. Eric and Annie sit down and have separate chats with Frankie and Johnny, Eric talking to Johnny, Annie talking to Frankie. Frankie and Johnny just want to get Eric and Annie off their backs. They've found a common enemy here. So they lie. They tell Eric and Annie that they're going to do all the stuff they're supposed to do, okay? They're going to go to counseling. They're going to go to all their court appointments. They're going to fix themselves. And Eric tells them that they need to stay away from Mary.
I'm sorry, but how did Mary ever become friends with those two? They have absolutely nothing in common with her.
How on earth could Mary befriend people like this? Oh, such despicable human beings. She's nothing like that.
She doesn't have anything in common with them, right?
First of all, I know Frankie isn't perfect in this scenario, but I really think Johnny is the problem here. I feel like Frankie is way more of a victim than a perpetrator in this cycle of really bad stuff happening to her. But Eric and Annie don't see the nuance in that, I don't think. I think they write them off as terrible people because, well, they got arrested for pot, so can't be good people, right? Mary shows up at their house later where they offer her a beer again, and she says, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Last time you guys helped me kick back a little, a cop stopped me on the way home.
Immediately, Johnny holds up a joint and is like, you want some weed though? I can't. Oh my God.
I'm not drinking.
I'm not talking about beer. Do you want to join us? It's just like having a beer. It chills you, but you don't lose control. So what do you say?
And it is implied that Mary smokes weed with them and then starts smoking weed regularly on her own, or at least attempts to smoke on her own, but that's for a future episode. Very notable moment in this episode, Simon gets his ear pierced. He goes to a stranger's house and gets his ear pierced. I think it looks really good, but I don't give a fuck about like weird cultural gender standards about that kind of stuff. But Eric and Annie force him to take it out because it's inappropriate, even though his sisters have their ears pierced. Double standard. They do not approve of the earring. But I'm glad that they're at least mostly mad at him because he went to a stranger's house without telling them, more than the ear piercing itself. Still, he's a teenager. Let him do it. Let him pierce his ear. It's fine.
That's not fair. Why can't I keep the earring?
Because you look like a girl.
Episode 6 is so much fun. I genuinely love this episode. This might be my favorite one. I cackled, okay? I smiled. It was creative and fun and insane. I think this episode can properly be titled by a quote from Eric. Mary is spiraling.
She's just spiraling downward. At some point, she's gonna hit bottom.
This episode is all about Mary and her descent into darkness. I'm obsessed with this. Eric and Annie are fighting about Mary. They don't know what they're gonna do with this delinquent child, who's an adult, by the way, capable of making her own decisions. By the way,
She needs to be the one to ask for help, and she's not ready yet.
She needs help now, whether she asks for it or not.
Eric talks about how Mary quit her job at the pizza place, which is not true. She was let go. She was fired, but Eric's like still trying to make her look worse than she actually is. Asshole.
She quit her job at Pete's Pizza. She needs a job. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have friends.
Mary keeps getting calls from a debt collector for a credit card, okay? And Lucy keeps answering the phone. And this debt collector is such a character.
Hello? May I speak to Mary Camden?
Mary isn't here. I can take a message.
Mary isn't there, huh?
No, she isn't.
And who would you be?
Who is this?
Oh, I asked first.
This is so nonsensical, so dumb. So this debt collector lady calls and gets Lucy on the phone and thinks that Lucy is Mary, and she is dead set on Lucy being Mary.
Hello?
Hello, Mary.
I am not Mary. I am her sister, Lucy.
Lucy is really upset that this woman keeps mistaking her for Mary. She keeps calling back like, oh, Mary, you can't fool me. She's like, I'm not Mary.
Sister. Oh, that's original.
I am not Mary, okay?
Drop the sister thing. Okay, it's really not working.
Lucy is so peeved. She's so peeved that this debt collector thinks she's Mary.
Is there anything I can do to convince you that I am not Mary?
No.
It doesn't matter if she thinks that you're Mary. Like, doesn't change anything about your life. Like, this isn't something you need to get worked up about, Lucy. It's not that big of a deal.
The lady from the credit card company has been calling all day. They think I'm you.
Anyway, also I should mention the credit card payment that she's getting harassed about from a debt collector is literally one single $50 payment. Like, it's her monthly payment, but it's like she missed one payment and she's being harassed by debt collectors. That's not how real life works, but we're gonna be extra dramatic today. This is not Mary's day. Today also happens to be the day a police officer goes to Sergeant Michaels and tells Sergeant Michaels about Mary getting pulled over a few episodes ago. He's like, oh, it was about a month ago, something happened, and I really need to talk to you about it because I know who I pulled over, and I'm pretty sure that she was drunk.
And I let her go with just a warning.
You're a good officer. Why would you do something like that?
I knew her.
Well, that's no excuse.
Well, you know her too. It was Mary Camden.
The police officer suspected she was drunk, but let it go because he knew her. Waited until a month later to tell Sergeant Michaels about it. Just happened to be on this day, so that's a wild coincidence. And Sergeant Michaels tells Eric about this, obviously. We then see Mary trying to withdraw some money from an ATM, and she is struggling because she has no money. She just keeps trying to withdraw money that she doesn't have, and she's taking so long that she's caused a massive line to be behind her, and one of the guys behind her offers her $5 to get out of line and stop trying to get money from the ATM. He pays her to leave the ATM because she's holding up the line so bad.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Mary then goes around asking all her siblings for money. She owes a lot of people a lot of money, apparently. We also hear from John Hamilton. Mary asked him for money too. Makes it sound like a lot of money.
A not so insignificant amount of money.
Oh, and also John saw her with 2 losers.
These 2 losers who were drinking beer and smoking. And what is it with your sister this year?
Point is, Mary is asking everybody for money. She goes to Ruthie, who gives her a $20 bill that she got for her birthday because she wanted to help Mary. Mary now has 25 big ones, $25. She leaves the house. Nobody knows where she went, and everyone assumes that Mary is out looking for a job to help pay her bills. And instead of using her $25 to pay down her credit card bill that's just looming over her head, this $50 bill, she goes to the movies. She's making very bad choices today. Annie and Eric then go around asking people about Mary, and they find out all the juicy details about their adult daughter that they shouldn't be able to get this information about. But anyway, Annie finds out that Mary's car insurance got canceled, which now that I think about it, she should have gotten in trouble for that when she got pulled over by the cop the time that she was drunk. She's really lucky that she didn't get busted for not having car insurance when she got pulled over. How did I not notice that before? Anyway, Annie figures out that Mary's car insurance has been canceled and she has been driving without insurance, and then goes to the pool hall where Mary had worked and finds out that Mary was fired because she was just on the phone all the time and also wasn't that great of an employee anyway. Eric goes to the pizza place guy and learns from that guy that he fired Mary. Okay, this is actually crazy to me. This is insane.
I think you should know the real reason I let Mary go.
The real reason?
This pizza place guy, Johnny, is his nephew, okay? So he hires Johnny and Frankie out of nepotism purposes solely. Mary gets a job there, and her first day there, she gets catcalled by people all day, and then that night stays after to have a beer with Frankie and Johnny. The pizza place owner guy knew that Mary had stayed after, and that's the reason he fired her, because she was hanging out with Frankie and Johnny. That's it. That's the whole reason he fired her. And he doesn't even know for sure that Mary drank a beer.
She just got in with some bad company, mainly Frankie and Johnny. Now, I don't know if Mary was drinking, but I do know that Frankie and Johnny were.
And he's like, oh, but I can't fire Johnny and Frankie because they're my family. Like, you get it, right? Like, you get it. I have duty to them, but like, I don't want her hanging out with them, so I fired her.
I think your daughter's hanging out with the wrong people.
Because she hung out with them that night. He assumed she had a beer and fires her. Is that even allowed? That's so hypocritical, too. Like, he keeps on his nephew for doing the same thing that Mary did.
Now, I don't know if Mary was drinking, but I do know that Frankie and Johnny were.
What the fuck? That's an insane thing to do. That's so mean and just dumb. Not even gonna talk to her, not even gonna warn her or give her a chance. You just fire the woman. Okay, because she hung out with them one time. Oh my God. Annie also calls the car dealership where Mary bought her car and finds out that she isn't paying her car payments either. Since she hasn't been making payments on her car, it's gonna be repossessed in 72 hours.
How much does she owe?
The first payment and the late fees come to $300.
Eric ends up talking to Julie Annie ends up talking to Hank, and they both learn about Mary being drunk at their house with the 2 babies. They're caught up on that whole situation. While all this drama is happening with Mary and Annie and Eric, the other kids in the family are trying to figure out how they can help Mary. They know she needs money, and they really, really want her to be okay. They love her. Now, Ruthie, the family's super genius child, comes up with the idea to steal the money from David and Sam, the twins.
Hello? Am I invisible? Sam and David have tons of money.
They've got these piggy banks in their room. Annie has put $10 a month in for each of them every month that they've been alive. Somewhere between $400 to $500. And they give it to Mary, telling her she needs to pay it back before Mom and Dad find out that they stole it, basically. And they all think this is a very, very good idea to allow Mary to go pay all her bills. So Mary takes the money, goes out on the town, and starts paying people back, baby. But instead of like actually paying everything the way it was meant to be, she starts increasing her loan time and interest rates and stuff so that she can get a lower monthly payment. So her credit card bill goes down, but like her interest rate and monthly like payoff time goes up.
Although we'll be increasing your credit line and lowering your monthly payment, we will be significantly raising your interest rate.
Mary thinks that that means that she's making money so she can like keep some of the money that was given to her from David and Sam.
So that'll be $30 instead of $50.
So I just made $20.
Mary is on top of the world. She's paying all her bills, she's getting lower monthly payments, and then she walks by a bookstore that has a hiring sign on it. She goes in and talks to the guy there and gets the job immediately.
You got spunk, I like that.
Like Mary Tyler Moore.
I loved that show.
It's my mom's all-time favorite.
You know what? You're hired.
Goes home to tell the great news, all right? Mary comes home, she sees her mom and dad, they're super pissed at her, and she's like, I paid all my bills, I'm a changed woman now, I just got this miracle job, everything's gonna be fine, I'm no longer dark Mary.
I'm gonna show you guys how incredibly responsible I can be. You are looking at a brand new Mary.
And then about 10 minutes later, she gets a call from the bookstore to tell her that she actually doesn't have a job. Pretty sure that they are implying that this dude's kind of a pedophile is what is the reason why. He gives Mary the job immediately, and then his wife comes in later and is like, you did not just hire another high school bimbo to take this job, right? And he's like, And because of this man's wife not liking him being creepy, he has to call Mary and revoke her job offer, essentially. So Mary does not, in fact, have a miracle job anymore. This was not Mary's day. I think the universe is working against Mary today. I'm really proud of her for trying, but she's terrible. She's terrible with money, and she's a terrible person. And I think we just have to accept that at this point.
We need more information before we can come up with a battle plan. The art of war.
This is war.
I think it is.
Episode 7, I think, is the designated pot episode for this season. That's what I decided. You'll see why. You know what, I'm gonna say it. I think episode 7 is bad. I don't like episode 7. First little highlight of episode 7, though, is Eric starts this one off talking to himself, counseling himself in a pastor counseling session.
You have to take action. And more than that, you have to take the right action. Are you saying it's my job to straighten this kid out?
Oh, yeah, by the way, if you haven't watched any of this before, Eric is a reverend. He doesn't really play much importance this season, but he is a reverend.
You have to quit talking to yourself and go home and have dinner.
Eric and Annie, this episode, trying to figure out how Mary got all this money to pay her bills. They don't know. Annie even calls her dad, who is by far my least favorite character. She calls him to see if Mary asked him to loan her money or anything, and that's where she got the money to pay back all her bills. And Grandpa did not loan Mary money, but he does make some very tasteful Alzheimer's jokes.
Hello?
Dad, are you okay?
I don't know. I forget.
What?
Alzheimer's joke, honey. I'm fine. I just jogged a couple of miles.
He won some points in my book for that.
I was just wondering if you loaned her any money.
Not that I can remember.
Dad, I'm serious.
I just couldn't resist. If you're gonna have a diagnosis, you might as well use it for something.
Meanwhile, Mary is still just going to the movies every single day. She's just going to the movies instead of job hunting or doing anything of value.
You'll be happy to know we changed movies today.
Yeah, thrilled.
Eric and Annie end up catching Ruthie trying to put rice in the piggy banks to replace the weight of the bills that she stole out of there. Eric and Annie catch Ruthie, and the whole truth comes out about the money and everything that happened with Mary. They end up planning an intervention for Mary for when she gets home from watching movies all day. Or more accurately, the same movie over and over and over again all day.
You're gonna see that again?
Do you have a problem with that?
You might want to give yourself 24 hours between screenings.
Mary gets home, they pull her into the living room, and they all sit down and have a frickin' chat with Mary. They did a really good job with the first part of this intervention. They are so kind and supportive and loving toward Mary. Like, it's really touching, honestly. They all have very heartfelt, thoughtful things to say to Mary to help encourage her to be better. Except for Simon. Simon just shames her for being really bad with money.
You don't make as much as you spend, and you don't make enough to meet your obligations. Don't spend anything else until you pay off your debt, and then don't get into debt again.
He's right about her needing to get out of debt, but I don't like how he's like comparing her worth as a human being to how much money she has. I don't like that.
Here's what I like about money. It tells you right who you are in numbers. Numbers are undisputed facts.
Ruthie doesn't encourage Mary either. She just gets pissed off at Mary, and it is so deserved.
I don't know where all this chummy advice and gushy stuff is coming from. You're selfish. You don't care anything about the rest of us. So I don't know why we're all supposed to care so much about you.
I honestly loved it. I loved how Ruthie she was the only one who straight up just got pissed off at Mary. Because Ruthie trusted Mary and she feels really hurt and rejected from multiple different things that have happened. After the intervention, the kids leave and it's just Eric and Annie talking with Mary.
That was the portion of the program I would rate G for general audiences. Now we're moving on to the adult stuff.
I searched your room, found this.
Okay, so you found a joint.
Oh no!
I can't believe you searched my room. What are you, communists? I have rights, you know.
Now, to be completely fair to Mary, this joint has not been smoked, all right? It's untouched. It's just been made. So we don't know if Mary has or hasn't been regularly or at all smoking pot. It was never shown to us. It was never clarified.
But why else would you have it except to smoke it?
What's wild to me is the consequences of this joint. Because, wow, is it extreme.
What is so wrong with just experimenting? Everyone is gonna try it sometime.
First of all, not everyone. For example, not me.
Eric explains why pot is so dangerous and harmful and lists off all of the harms and terrible things he's seen that come from smoking pot.
Lifelong illegal habit. The need to try other harder drugs. Addiction to those drugs. Jail time.
I'm sorry. That's it. That's all he says. I've seen the harms that come from marijuana.
Lifelong illegal habit. The need to try other harder drugs.
That's the bad things that happen to you if you smoke pot. I would say the most legitimate reason listed here is that it's illegal. I don't think that should be a thing. People shouldn't be arrested for marijuana, but that's just me. I just think it's so funny that he doesn't actually have a real reason why Mary shouldn't be smoking pot. I'm not saying there isn't a reason. I'm saying Eric did not provide any actual reasons why pot is bad.
Jail time.
Getting to the consequence of this, though, for being caught with a joint in her room, they decide, mostly Eric decides, that she needs to go live in New York with her grandparents. Since Mary is such a problem child and she's taking so much attention away from the other children that they have to worry about, they decided that the best thing to do with Mary is ship her off to New York. Keep in mind, she's graduated high school. She's an adult, but still, they're like, actually, you need to go to New York now because we don't want to have to deal with you. They set up a job for her, they set up college options for her, and they completely remove her autonomy. They even move her car into Eric's name without her permission. And they tell her she has a red-eye flight leaving tonight. This is the most insane thing that they do. I cannot believe that they do this. Now, I know there's some backstory in like the actual filming world with Jessica Biel, the actress for Mary. She did a topless photo shoot for a men's magazine at age 17, and that was a look that they didn't want to have reflected on them. The Seventh Heaven people, that is. What I understand from the little that I've looked into it, they wanted to kind of push her off the show because she was bad for the image, and also she didn't really want to be on the show that much anymore anyway, so I'm assuming this is why they wrote this insane, like, we're shipping you off to New York storyline, because they needed to figure out how to get her off the show, or at least to a part-time role on the show rather than a full-time role. Taking that out of it, like, from an audience perspective, insane. This is insane. Why would you do this to your child? Adult child, by the way. I don't support underage drug use, all right? But this is an extreme reaction to finding marijuana in her room. I guess, like, pot was the final straw for them. I think the drunk driving was probably the thing that scared them most. They say they have to make a choice between making her really mad by shipping her off to New York or her dying. That's what they think is the only option, is either she goes to New York or she stays here and dies because she's gonna drive drunk and die. Like, that's actually their reasoning here.
Mary's really, really angry at us.
I don't care. I'd rather have an angry kid than a dead kid.
I seriously disagree with this. I hate it. I think it's a terrible thing, and it sets like a terrible precedent for what good parenting looks like.
I hate this.
I have to say I don't. I feel relieved that we're doing something.
I don't disagree with the concept, all right? Like, there may be situations in which it is actually the best decision to have a child live with other people. I'm not saying that that's the problem. The problem is how they handled this. This is just a really harsh and pretty terrible reaction to a child having struggles in life. I would never do this to my child, at least not without fair warning and discussion and disclosure about what I know, about what my child is doing. I wouldn't just ship someone off to a different state because I'm tired of their bullshit. That's such horrible parenting. And now they're gonna go force her to live in New York with her abusive, controlling, authoritarian grandparents. Yes, I'm sure this is exactly how we're gonna fix Mary. My God. I know Mary is a mess. I see the signs, okay? But this is extremely cruel. Mary is really upset, obviously. She's like yelling at Lucy on her way out.
Please don't leave like this.
How did you think I was going to leave? I am being sent off to live with the Colonel and Grandma Ruth in Buffalo.
But I don't blame her, honestly. Yeah, she's being kind of a bitch right now, but she just got her whole life turned upside down with no warning. Like, that's really awful.
I didn't know anything about it, okay? Get out! Is that how you're gonna say goodbye?
Yeah, and you can tell the rest of them to stay out of here because I don't want to talk to any of you!
And on her way out, she says that she actually prayed that God would help her get out of this situation.
I actually tried praying for some way to get out of the mess I was in. If this is the answer to my prayers, then I'm never praying about anything again.
God damn, that's deep shit. I'm hoping people aren't taking parenting advice from Seventh Heaven. Some of it's good, but wow, it should not be looked to as a moral authority in any way.
This is the right thing to do. I know you know in your heart of hearts this is the right thing to do. Better to have an angry kid than a dead kid.
I worry that this maybe set a harmful example of how to deal with delinquent children, especially because Mary didn't actually do anything that bad. Drinking and driving, yes, terrible. Underage drug use, we do not support this, right? But I don't think that Mary just being a really irresponsible young adult warrants this a consequence. Also, it's really unfair to Mary that she got screwed over by just living in a small town. Everybody was just gossiping about her, and that's like half of the reason why Annie and Eric decided to send her off. They didn't even talk to her about it. Anyway, episode 8.
I heard she's pregnant. No, she's in prison.
She just went crazy. They put her in an institution. So sad.
It's just another case of a good girl gone bad.
Mary's gone, and people start spreading rumors at church about Mary, and everyone thinks that Mary's like pregnant or something.
Are the rumors really true? Is Mary really pregnant and on the run from the law?
Lucy's sort of boyfriend, Mike, recommends to Lucy that she starts spreading other drama about the family to like distract people from the rumors about Mary.
You could start a rumor that makes everyone feel sorry for your family. Pity isn't nearly as entertaining as gossip.
Lucy realizes this is a weird, terrible idea and doesn't do it, but Ruthie overhears Mike saying that, and she decides to go around her school and tell like all these stories about her family.
I need to tell you about my sister Lucy. She has a lot of disabilities. My brother Simon doesn't talk.
Your brother is mute?
Yeah, he's mute.
Mother drinks?
All day.
Later, the principal of the school runs into Eric and is like, oh yeah, I heard that your wife is drinking too much wine and that your son Simon is mute. She's like, you really need to fix these problems in your family, okay?
You know, it's completely understandable why your wife has turned to alcohol. But now it's time to stop.
It's just a really funny, random plot.
Matt, my older brother, he lives in this car. It's better than jail.
Additionally, so wild in this episode, Eric and Annie have this weird plot where Annie goes out to like talk to one of her ex-boyfriends.
Well, he's coming to town. He wants to take me out to dinner Friday.
No.
Excuse me?
No, you can't go.
I'm not asking your permission to go out to dinner with an old friend.
Not an old friend, an ex-boyfriend.
It's like a high school reunion or some shit. So she ends up going and talking to this guy who's her ex-boyfriend. And Eric doesn't want her to do it, but she does it anyway.
And I'm still going out with Robin.
And then just so happens all the gossip ladies from church are there and they see Annie with this other guy and they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? They're the ones who were gossiping about Mary being pregnant and stuff. Then Eric shows up at the pool hall where he's supposed to meet Annie. That's where he met the principal, by the way. So he walks in with Ruthie's principal. And Eric stops the Mary rumors by saying that he and Annie have an open relationship.
I guess Annie and I can't hide it anymore. The real story's Annie and me. She's dating an old boyfriend, and I'm dating Ruthie's principal. But if you'll excuse us, we both want to get back to our dates.
That's how he quenches the Mary rumors. I guess Mike's advice worked a little bit with the gossip ladies, at least. Such a strange solution to this problem, you know? At church on Sunday, there's a bride who shows up at the church and runs into Matt, okay? She's trying to figure out where a different church is. She ended up at the wrong location, and Matt falls in love with this bride at first sight. That same night, that same day, she shows up at the pool hall where Matt is. They see each other, meet eyes, they walk up to each other, and she just kisses him, and she goes,
I wanted to do that when I saw you earlier.
Then she tussles his hair.
I wanted to do that too.
Like, what is this?
I want to marry that woman. You might want to get her name.
The bride lady just kind of disappears after that, and then Matt spends like the whole episode trying to find her and figure out who she is.
I've asked everyone I can think of. No one knows who the mystery lady in the wedding dress is. Although my guess is she's someone's wife.
She shows up at the pool hall again, asking around for Matt.
I'm looking for a guy.
The guy's looking for you.
Turns out this woman is a model, and she was doing a modeling shoot in a wedding dress, and they gave her the wrong location, and that's how she met Matt in the first place. And she's just in town briefly for like a modeling gig, and then she's going back to New York to model. She gets his address and shows up at his apartment later.
I got your address out of the phone book and decided to surprise you. Are you surprised?
Just so random.
Do you want to maybe go out, get a cup of coffee, get to know each other? Do you want to stay in and make out like crazy until your plane leaves?
And of course, yes, we never see her again, if you were wondering. There's this whole side plot where Simon goes on a date with Mary Kate and Ashley. He and his friend double, and they go out with these twins because he really wanted to ask them out. But Simon thinks that he has to be a bad boy to go out with them because like that's the persona that they put out there, that they're bad girls. So Simon puts on a bad boy persona, which this is his vibe this season anyway.
Let's go do something.
Well, shouldn't we wait for the rest of the group?
There are no other people. That's just a lie we tell our parents so they'll let us go out with boys. I'll take this one. Guess that means you're mine.
The date goes terribly. They go out and do tons of crazy shit. Like they shoplift, they dine and dash, they like grab a girl's butt in line and blame it on Simon. The shoplifting scene is so funny. Oh, I almost forgot about this. They're in a gas station, it kind of looks like, or like a little convenience store, and they're grabbing some stuff. One kid drops a candy bar, and then the guy working there looks over at them and just like knows that they're shoplifting, even though they haven't walked out. They haven't stolen anything yet. They're just walking around the store. And this guy starts like chasing them down because he dropped a candy bar and he assumed they were stealing. It's wild. It doesn't make any sense. The grand finale of their night is they sneak into a movie theater. They end up getting caught and kicked out of the movie theater, and then they get the police called on them, I guess. And Sergeant Michaels apparently knows everything they did that night because they've been reported so many times.
The four of you fit the description of some youths who have been causing all sorts of trouble.
Even grabbing the girl's ass in line. He knew about that too. The police knew that he grabbed a girl's ass in line at the movie theaters. Wild.
Running out on a restaurant check without paying. Assaulting a girl in line at the movies.
Extremely small town. And in the end, turns out the whole bad girl persona was actually just a test of sorts.
We're not as bad as everyone says we are. People think we're bad, the bad girl twins, but just isn't true.
It was an act to teach them a lesson about,
Friends overheard Luke telling people that you guys were just going out with us to up your reps at school. So we got mad and had a little fun.
Then Simon asks one of them out again, and she says yes, and they kiss. And they get caught kissing by Eric and Annie. And we never see them again. Episode 9 is a very ahead of its time feminism episode. Some very good messages in this one. The execution. I don't know. The first part of this episode, Matt catches Simon hanging out with some sketchy company, if you will. I'm having a really hard time talking about this without just laughing because it's so ridiculous. The way that this happens is Matt is driving around in a car with John, and they end up passing a group of guys just standing on the side of the street listening to some music, and Simon happens to be hanging out with these guys. Matt pulls the car over and goes up to Simon like, "What are you doing? Why are you with these people?"
When did you start hanging out with guys like that?
Literally all Simon is doing is just standing there listening to music. Apparently the music is very inappropriate.
I know the music. And when did you start listening to that music?
It's rap. I like it.
But it's not. It's actually not rap music though.
No, that's not rap. It's some kind of perversion of rap. In fact, I think it's an insult to the African American community for you to call that rap.
I'm no music scholar, but it sounds like rap. No, they do tell us the problem. The problem is, though it is never shown to us what the lyrics are of this song, of this rap song, apparently the lyrics are all about harming women. Not good. You don't want to listen to music that says that kind of stuff in it. I don't know how Matt knew that that's what Simon was listening to because you couldn't even hear the lyrics. Fun fact, I actually went through this song and tried to figure out what the lyrics sounded like. Here's my interpretation. I hope you enjoy it.
I think it's an insult to the African American community for you to call that rap.
And it just seems like an extreme overreaction. But no, turns out these children that Simon is now hanging out with are full-fledged misogynists that go around harassing women. They end up harassing Lucy and Annie stands up to these guys with a girl boss speech that's super cringe, but you know, it's still girl boss nonetheless.
You want a piece of this? I brought 7 kids into this world. I can take one out.
Simon's getting pulled into this dark, dark world, falling down the pipeline of misogyny. He has to be taught by his parents how to not be a misogynist. So we learn some very important lessons here today.
Simon's little friend harassed Lucy. He called her a name, slapped her on the derriere, then harassed and threatened me.
And the name he called Lucy?
The B word.
What?
Talk to him.
Eric also brings in a commentary about the clothing that Simon is choosing to wear because he's wearing baggy pants.
Where did you get those pants?
I'm sure that was a trend at the time. People get mad at me for not knowing the details of like the 90s and early 2000s social culture. I was like 4 when this was airing, okay? I don't know. Eric gets mad at Simon for wearing baggy pants because apparently it's a style that originated in prison. So...
Do you know where that particular fashion trend got started? Prison. You know where you're going if you keep wearing your pants like that? Prison.
Heather is in this episode as well. She writes Matt a cryptic note saying that they need to talk and he thinks that she wants to get back together with him, but turns out she just wants to tell him that she's dating somebody and wants him to hear it from her before other people. And we learn that she's dating a professor from their university. She says he's a little bit older, which I think we're learning is Heather's type.
Is that ethical?
It's fun. He's a nice man. He's a little older than me, but he's a very nice man.
She almost married a guy who looked like he was 40 when she was 19. I think Heather is just into older men. That's what we're learning here. On Heather's way to talk to Matt, she ends up getting attacked by the misogynist group of boys that Simon's been hanging out with. But lucky for us, Heather took a self-defense class or some shit. I mean, we don't get to see her do her, cool self-defense skills. But she is able to successfully get one of these guys in a headlock off screen and protect herself against these raging misogynists. Simon ends up tackling his friend and abandoning this friend group. And the police show up right on cue. Very, very dramatic, but wow, Heather, Badass.
Do something before this idiot hurts someone.
This guy tried to attack me.
Also stemming from the whole misogyny thing is John's storyline. At John's job at the hospital, where his job is literally to just like DJ, one of the doctors specifically requests that John plays this rap music, the one that Simon was listening to earlier that has lyrics about hurting women.
I'm sorry, I can't help you out. I can't take responsibility for putting this into the consciousness of the world.
And this doctor is like so adamant that John needs to play this music. And John's like, no, I refuse. I'm not playing this music. And the doctor's like, oh, you're going to risk your job for some stupid songs? So he's threatening his job if he doesn't play this music. And John stands his ground. He's not going to play this bad music, and he's going to stand up for women, okay?
That CD has sold millions of copies. You think everyone who listens to it hates women?
Yes, I do.
And the doctor immediately 180's like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, sure, okay.
Okay, maybe you're right. I never really thought about it.
That whole conversation is overheard by a young woman named Priscilla, who asks John out on a date because she liked how much he stood up for women. So stand up for women and you will get dates immediately. Thank you, Seventh Heaven, for that message. There's also a little segment about Annie teaching Ruthie how to dress appropriately as a young child. And this is the segment I think was extremely ahead of its time, actually, where Annie talks to Ruthie about how she needs to dress appropriately, but not because she shouldn't be able to wear whatever she wants. Annie actually supports that women should be able to wear whatever they want, but unfortunately, a lot of men will blame their bad behavior on women's clothing choices. And she is just trying to keep Ruthie safe, which I think is a much better message to portray about modesty than what is commonly portrayed in modern Christianity with modesty. That, you know, if you dress immodestly, you are giving men permission to hurt you and assault you and sexualize you and whatnot.
Do not patronize pornography. If you dress immodestly, you are magnifying this problem by becoming pornography.
So I appreciate that Seventh Heaven, even in the early 2000s, was spreading the message that no, men need to be held responsible for their own thoughts and feelings and actions. And unfortunately, they do behave poorly a lot of times when women are not dressed modestly, but that's not the woman's fault. Another very exciting plot of this episode is the return of Robbie. Robbie comes back. Robbie's back. If you don't know who Robbie is, he's the guy who Mary dated last season. They were all googly eyes over each other.
Hi. Hi yourself.
Then we end up learning that he was an absolute manipulative, lying scumbag. He took her to a motel under false pretenses, wanting to have sex with her without any warning or discussion about it, and she was very offended by that. And they broke up. And he was with another girl the entire time he was dating Mary, and he's been with this other woman for 3 years. So Mary is a mistress, or was a mistress in this scenario. The girl he'd been dating for 3 years, her name is Cheryl, and Robbie ended up breaking up with her because of Mary. He wanted to be with Mary, and then Mary started praying for Robbie to become a better person. Then he proposed to Mary, and Mary said no, and maybe they'd still date, but she's just not ready to get married, all right? That's what you need to know about Robbie from last season. So Robbie's back. Yeah, Robbie's not going away, probably ever. I think he's here for good. The writers and producers of this love Robbie for some reason. Don't ask me, I don't know why. He gets reintroduced because he and Cheryl, his ex-girlfriend, show up at Eric's reverend office at the church to talk to him and ask him to be the one to marry them because they are now engaged, back together and engaged. Okay, so let's just get this straight. Cheryl and Robbie are approaching Eric because they're getting married and they want Eric to marry them. Eric, the father of Robbie's mistress, he cheated on Cheryl with Mary. Like, that's so weird. That's so weird. Why would they do that? That aside, there's more scandal, okay? Because Cheryl and Robbie are living together. And Cheryl's pregnant Because of course. But actually, she's not pregnant.
I'm not pregnant. I thought I was, but I'm not.
They later say that she lied about the baby altogether, so I don't even know. I'm so confused about this.
I've known for a few days, but I don't want to tell Robbie because I know he won't marry me.
Robbie and Eric talk alone at some point, and Robbie tells him that Cheryl basically coerced him into having unprotected sex, like saying that she had a medical condition that required them to have unprotected sex for her to be better, and then I guess lied about getting pregnant. But she did this because she wanted Robbie to propose to her, okay? So they're painting Cheryl as this bad guy, and they're painting Robbie, who in the last season was like this malicious scumbag. Now they're showing him as a himbo.
You really should not be out there having sex if you don't know any more about women than that.
Turns out Robbie wasn't this malicious asshole. Turns out he's just so stupid. He's an absolute imbecile.
Absorb some of the lessons you've learned here today.
Like?
For instance, you don't have sex when you're not married.
Yeah, that's good.
Robbie wasn't bad guy. Robbie was himbo. Dum-dum. Not know how life work. Oh!
I respect women.
You took my daughter to a motel, all the while still seeing Cheryl.
You're still mad about that, aren't you?
That's how they're making him retroactively more innocent than he was before. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate this angle they're taking. They made Cheryl the bad guy, and they turned Robbie into some just like uneducated dum-dum because his parents are not that great. So like no one taught him the basics of life. Just wild choice to make here with the writing, but all right, let's see where this goes. Because of Eric, Robbie ends up finding out that this is an unhealthy situation and he thinks that he should probably break up with Cheryl. That's where we're ending that. Messy, very messy. Oh, Robbie. Robbie's back. Speaking of Robbie, episode 10. Eric is out listening to some woman play guitar on the street.
There's a big sky above me.
And then he sees Robbie down in sketchy alleyway because Robbie is now homeless. Why? Because he broke up with Cheryl. So he moved onto the streets and is still going to school, still doing his schoolwork while living on the streets, which is extremely impressive. And in Eric's typical fashion of being in everyone else's business unnecessarily, he actually does what I would say is the Christian thing to do and takes Robbie in. He brings him home so that he can, have a place to sleep tonight and for the foreseeable future. Now, something very funny about this. Upon Robbie's arrival into the Camden household, we have one of the most strange and hilarious interactions I think we've seen so far. Annie is prepping for Eric to come home. She's specifically prepping for some sexy time when Eric comes home, and she's put on some lingerie. Thank God it's old lady lingerie, otherwise this could have been way worse than it was. When Eric comes home with Robbie, he goes into their bedroom.
I have a surprise for you.
I have a surprise for you too.
Like, is taking Robbie into his bedroom where Annie is waiting for him in lingerie.
Surprise.
Later, he's downstairs and Lucy comes down dressed in just like a bra and short shorts, just naked women all over the home. The most absurd part of this whole scenario is the fact that Lucy, the reason they give for her being in a bra and booty shorts downstairs in the kitchen is because it's really hot in the house.
Did you go downstairs like that?
I was hot. Mom had the heat up for Sam and David. At least I thought it was for Sam and David. I'll just go now.
This implies that Annie turned up the heat in the house to such a significant degree that Lucy needed to wear a bra and booty shorts in the kitchen because she was getting ready to have sex with Eric. Why? Why would Annie turn up the heat to have sex? Like, are you getting more cold? Are you guys okay? In the end, Robbie ends up giving the prayer at dinner and he starts crying, tears of gratitude. He's so grateful. Nothing wrong with Robbie crying. It's just funny to me because it reminds me of last season when Mary was praying to God that Robbie would become a better person.
Could you pray that Robbie changes from bad to good? That he becomes a good person?
We'll try. Honey.
God answered Mary's prayers by kicking her out of the house and letting Robbie take her place. That's what you get for smoking weed, Mary. I'm also extremely confused about the relationship between Lucy and Mike.
Did you come over to show me how well you pace?
No.
Their relationship makes no sense to me, and it never does. It never does the entire season, but what's going on in this episode? On the same day that he happened to have a date with another person, not Lucy, Mike got his college acceptance letter. After his date, he goes to Lucy and tells her that he got accepted to college, and Lucy gets really hurt and offended that he waited to tell her until after he had already gone on a date with somebody.
Look, we're not exclusive, so why shouldn't you be on a date?
Lucy is offended that he went on a date and then told her.
Then again, this was something we did do together, and if it were me, I'd come over before my date. But hey, everyone's different, right?
I guess she wanted him to tell her first, but feelings are valid. All feelings are valid, even if they're incorrect, okay? What's the problem? I don't get what the problem. Why is this such a big deal? But yeah, Lucy gets really upset at Mike about this, and then the next day goes to apologize to him for how she reacted to the news.
I'm surprised to see you.
Is everything okay?
Mike then invites Lucy inside and introduces to us one of the strangest plots of this entire season. Just such a strange and absurd scenario. Mike invites Lucy into the house.
Look, if you come in, there's no going back.
What? Why? Are you gonna murder her? Like what?
If you come in, there's no going back.
No, Mike is not a secret serial killer. Mike is about to introduce Lucy to his mother. He's very, very concerned about Lucy meeting his mother. It's like this big secret he has.
There's no going back.
We get a little more backstory about Mike here. If you remember, he had tried to end his own life, and that's, the big thing about him. There's literally not a single episode where he doesn't mention the fact that he tried to commit suicide and then also is so grateful to be alive.
My life's just fine, and you know why? I'm alive, and I'm grateful for every second of every day.
It's like his main personality trait. There are a lot of people who have that experience. It's a relatable thing, but it's one thing to write a character like that, and it's another thing to make their attempted suicide their entire personality, Upon meeting Mike's mother, we get more backstory into Mike's whole personality. A few years prior, Mike's father died. I'm pretty sure he ended his own life. I don't remember exactly, but Mike's father's death was the sole reason that Mike himself tried to end his own life. After all these events, Mike's mother just stopped talking to people. She just sat down, stopped communicating, and became a vegetable. And that's Mike's big secret that Lucy now knows, that his mom is a vegetable by choice. Now, someone behaving like this because of a trauma response obviously would need professional help. I am going to be so harsh toward this woman because her reason for being silent, it's not trauma. It's not, we'll get to it later. We learn what it is later, but she is the worst. What a horrible, terrible mother. I'm trying to say, I'm not being insensitive when I say she's being a vegetable by choice. That is literally what is happening, but we'll get to that later. Last episode, John got asked out on a date immediately by this girl Priscilla after he defended women so hard. They are still dating in this episode, and John is being that roommate. That roommate. Not only is he being that roommate, he's being that BYU roommate.
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Get up.
I love you, and I can't live without you. Be my wife.
He proposes to Priscilla, and they've been together for 2 weeks. And yes, that literally happens on a regular basis at the Mormon school BYU, and with Mormons in general. Not exaggerating. 2 weeks is a pretty common time frame. You'd be surprised. Anyway, John proposes to Priscilla in their apartment, by the way, and she says yes, by the way. But hey, you know what? Already, it's a better relationship than Matt's ever had, so that counts for something, I guess. Lastly, in this episode, Simon has been talking on the phone all day long in a very strange way. It almost seems like he's talking to himself on the phone. He's acting really strange.
It's like I know you so well. Like we really know so much about each other already. Yeah, it is weird. Well, I was wondering... Oh, you were wondering something too? Wow, that was exactly what I was wondering. That's kind of cosmic, isn't it?
But it ends up being that he's talking to some mysterious spooky elf girl named Sasha who owns a BMW. So that is also a storyline to be continued. Episode 11, the saga of John and Priscilla, continues with Matt being really unsupportive. He is hanging out with Heather and Heather's new boyfriend because he is trying to avoid John and Priscilla. He does not support their marriage. He's trying to convince John they haven't known each other long enough, and John is not hearing it.
Your dad said I'd probably find you here.
I told you I don't support this marriage, and I don't want to meet Priscilla's parents.
But Priscilla and I want you to meet him.
Heather's boyfriend somehow knows who this girl is and knows that her parents are extremely wealthy.
Excuse me, did you say Carter? Priscilla Carter.
You know her?
Yeah, doesn't everyone know her? You've heard of Carter Sheets. Everyone in America sleeps on Carter.
So she's rich.
Heather's boyfriend was playing 5D chess or whatever because he didn't actually know that the parents were rich.
You're a very bad man.
I'm not a bad man. I'm a desperate man. And if I hadn't made something up, the two of them would have been arguing here all night.
I have something to say about Heather's boyfriend, all right? He has put no effort into learning actual sign language. Like, Matt was not that great at sign language, but he put in more effort than freaking whoever this guy is. He literally just signs the words bad and need.
I'm not a bad man. I'm a desperate man.
Continues to like ramble.
And if I hadn't made something up, the two of them would have been arguing here all night.
What a fucking disappointment, dude. Like, you can't even learn sign language for your girlfriend, man. No. Back to John and Priscilla and the extremely confusing plot about Priscilla's parents being very rich, because this girl's parents actually are rich, so he was right. He was just wrong about the reason for them being rich.
Everyone in America sleeps on Carter.
I don't really know what happened, but for some reason, Priscilla's parents decided they hate John.
They hate me. They do not want me and Priscilla to get married.
I think it's because John was misinformed about how they were rich.
Her father's an architect. I asked him if he designed sheets. Of course he doesn't. But that was the discussion that pretty much got us off to a bad start.
And then also Priscilla gives another answer later as to why they don't like him, and it also makes no sense.
Her mother doesn't design sheets either.
Priscilla's parents met John one time, wrote him off immediately, decide they hate him so much that if Priscilla marries John, they're going to disown her entirely, like cut her off financially. And they do. She loves John and wants to be with John. This man she's known for a very short amount of time is now cut off and has no financial support and no place to live because her parents don't want her to marry John.
Priscilla's dad told her he was taking back her car, he's not paying tuition, and he's cutting off her allowance.
Because of this, John and Priscilla decide that she is going to move into the apartment that John shares with Matt, and Matt can no longer live there. They just decided that without talking to Matt about it. So Matt just has to move back home, and he makes no attempt to find another apartment. He remains at the Camden home for the remainder of this season, just because Priscilla needed a place to live, and they didn't want Matt there.
Even though we're both against premarital cohabitation, that's what we're pretty much forced into.
Robbie is still living in the Camden home, and Annie is extremely upset that Robbie is living there. She does not like Robbie, rightfully so. But Robbie has suddenly turned into an absolute domestic angel.
Robbie's making me eggs with cheese and ham.
Robbie's doing everything around the house. Basically a live-in maid at this point.
Oh, Robbie ironed your shirt for you.
But for some reason, this is making Annie even more upset. Like, she's just so pissed about Robbie being there.
He is just a boarder.
Robbie's not just a boarder, is he? He's just a boarder.
She ends up blowing up at Eric because she feels like Robbie has replaced her in the house. Like, there's nothing for her to do in the house because Robbie's doing all the housework and cleaning and stuff.
He has taken over every single thing that I do.
She feels like nobody needs her anymore.
Once again, I am not needed anywhere for anything by anybody.
This is very upsetting to Annie, which I don't know that I have ever in the history of my life heard of a mother being upset about getting help around the house. Especially a mother of 7 children, the youngest 2 of which are twins that are toddlers, and she's complaining about getting help around the house, that she's not needed around the house. Personally, as a mother of just one child. If a nice random himbo moved into my house and started doing all my housework for me, I would not be upset about that. I would maybe, take a bath, drink some wine, read a book. I mean, there's 100 things I could do before getting upset about having help. I can't, the lack of gratitude coming from this woman, I do not understand it. Robbie apparently is majoring in early childhood education, which is also what Annie wants to study, coincidentally. I wonder if the Seventh Heaven writers see that as one of the only degrees that should be pursued.
Early childhood education.
Robbie's really good with kids and he wants to work with kids, and so he ends up actually getting a job at a daycare as their like sports coordinator, and apparently it pays really well.
I wanted to let you both know I got a job.
Really? Oh, that's great.
So Robbie buys Annie and the twins plane tickets so that they can go to Arizona to visit her father. Annie then forgives Robbie and is okay with him being in the house now. There's a very uncomfortable plot in this episode where Ruthie is absolutely smitten with Robbie. She's in love with Robbie.
Woman to woman, I'm in love.
Really?
And I'm pretty sure he feels the same way about me.
Keep in mind, Ruthie is like 9 or 10.
Surely you can see the way he looks at me. The way we look at each other.
Calls him beautiful to his face.
Those are real teeth.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
She writes him a love letter in the hopes that they'll date? And then she starts spreading a rumor that Lucy and Robbie are dating and then blames her love letter on Lucy.
Is this from you?
Let me see. I think that's Lucy's handwriting.
And Robbie believes her, too.
Maybe we should talk.
Because...
This is really awkward.
Wait a minute. Did she say... I didn't write that.
That doesn't pan out to anything. It's just weird and uncomfortable that Ruthie was in love with Robbie for this episode. She still will refer to him throughout the season as being like hot, but she doesn't have a crush on him anymore by the end of the episode. It's weird. It's weird. Episode 12 is, absurd. Absurd is a good word for it. Lucy offers to help babysit Mike's vegetable mom, and this is where we learn the truth about her choice to become a vegetable. Mike has to go off to do something, and because Lucy's the only person who knows about Mike's mom, this horrible dark secret that he has, she's the one he asks to help watch her while he has to go do something. Y'all, I'm not kidding when I say immediately, she breaks her years of silence to talk to Lucy. Not her son, no. She doesn't say a word to her son. But when Lucy shows up, she starts telling her what's going on.
I want Mike to put me in a hospital.
What? She wants to be put away in a mental hospital.
You have to talk to him. He trusts you. If you tell him to do it, he'll do it.
Whoa, just give me a second, okay?
Let me lay this out for you, all right? Mike's mother stopped talking and vegetabilized herself after Mike attempted to end his life. She blamed herself for his actions, felt like it was her fault. So her solution was to just ignore him. Wild. This is wild. She has been sitting there, feeling sorry for herself, ignoring her son and neglecting her son's emotional needs for years, hoping that because she hasn't been speaking or doing anything, that he will send her away to a mental institution so that he doesn't have to deal with her anymore, I guess. Lucy tells Mike that his mom actually just talked to her, and he's like, oh, what? Mike then has to go talk to his mom, tell her that it was his decision and his problem, had nothing to do with her at all, which, yeah, I feel like she should have known that from the beginning, but Mike sits there and takes accountability for his own decisions, and then she talks to him.
I was selfish. I tried to end my life. Me, not you. You've done nothing but be a great mom.
What a child of a woman.
So, you forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive.
Oh, this made me so angry. I'm so fired up about this woman. Eric calls his parents' house to try and talk to Mary. His adopted brother George answers the phone and lets it slip that Mary has left.
Mary took off. She's catching a plane back to Glen Oak, didn't you know?
And this starts a huge drama that Mary is leaving the grandparents' house to come back to Glen Oak so that she can date Robbie. Eric thinks that Robbie is helping her get back.
If I find out like I think I'm gonna find out, you helped her run away, then you, my friend, are out of this house permanently.
Eric is very upset about this. He is so stressed, so stressed about it that he forgets it's his birthday today. This whole time, everyone behind the scenes is planning a surprise party for Eric, and he's just worrying about Mary being a delinquent child. Eric ends up going to the airport to pick Mary up. He wasn't even supposed to know that she was there. It was supposed to be a surprise for his birthday.
Dad, I didn't come here to see Robbie. I came here to see you. Happy birthday, Dad.
What?
Happy birthday.
Her flight was super delayed, so she couldn't even get there on time. She just showed up at the airport and it had to like turn around to go back to New York.
My flight was supposed to get in last night and then it got snowed in and I only have an hour before my return flight leaves.
So it's a good thing that Eric went to pick her up because that worked out. She was just coming into town for his birthday to tell him that she's grateful, so grateful that he sent her away. She's thriving in New York. She's doing wonderfully, actually, being such a great, responsible adult.
I have to get back from my class and work. These days I'm keeping my commitments.
Working, schooling, thriving.
What a great present.
When Eric returns to the home, Lucy gives Eric her present. She has decided that she is going to become a minister. Yeah. That's Lucy's present to her dad. She's going to be a minister. She got accepted to a school that has a theology degree and a path to being a minister and stuff. So yeah, now Lucy is going to study the Bible in depth, and then once she learns how the Bible actually was created, she's going to learn too much. She's going to become a bitter, disillusioned atheist like the rest of us.
I'm going to study theology and become a minister.
There's a huge surprise party at the house. They invited literally everybody to this party for Eric. Like, their house is stuffed full. It's like sardines in their house, in the Camden home. And you know who else is there? Eric's old band, the Flower and Vegetable Show. They do not smoke weed, by the way, only cigarettes. Then they sing the Seventh Heaven theme song for Eric's birthday. And it's awesome.
When I see their happy faces smiling back at me, where can you go when the world don't treat you right? Seventh heaven, ooh, seventh heaven.
I'm actually out of breath from that. I need to do more cardio. Ugh. Episode 13 is the jealousy episode. Everything in this episode is about people being jealous of other people. Everybody's jealous. John invites Robbie to hang out with him.
She's making me cookies and brownies and stuff like that.
You're miserable, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Matt gets really jealous of Robbie hanging out with his best friend. And to be fair, that's really weird, but it was just because
John needed to get out. I think he's having a hard time since you left. He doesn't want to admit it. It's not easy living with a woman.
What's that supposed to mean? Excuse me? John goes back home to find the apartment he used to share with Matt and is now sharing with Priscilla to be completely redecorated in a Japanese fashion. The men are not okay with this. Matt shows up at the apartment and sees the redecoration, and he is so rude to Priscilla.
What is this, Benihana? Why would you do this to this apartment?
Being like, oh, I know John so much better than you do, and he's gonna hate this apartment.
Nothing in this place is John. He must hate it.
He loves it.
Well, he's lying.
He's just so mean and so like cocky, just an absolute ass to Priscilla.
Why does this make you so happy?
Because John's miserable.
And that makes you happy?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get what the big deal is. It looks great. There's no problem with this apartment in my mind. I think it's beautiful. Maybe she could have communicated a little better about it, but like, goddamn, give the woman some grace. Oh, it's so hard to live with a woman. Oh, no. Literally all she did was redecorate the apartment. That's all she's done. And she's this, oh, woman, oh, can't live with a woman.
It's not easy living with a woman.
It isn't?
No, it isn't. I know from experience.
When John gets home later that night, she gets really upset because Matt was so fucking rude to her, and John just smooths everything over.
Apparently, Matt knows what you like. Maybe you should marry Matt.
I should have said something to you, but you work so hard. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Come on, baby, I love you. Don't be mad at me.
He's good with words, man. John knows what to say to his woman.
I'm gonna live happily ever after with the girl of my dreams in a little Japanese apartment. Maybe someday we'll open up a Benihana.
Remember how Lucy got accepted to school? She's gonna be a minister and stuff. Per the agreement that Mike and Lucy had, once they get accepted into colleges, they can like kiss, I guess.
Shut up and kiss me.
Not until you get an acceptance letter.
So Lucy gets all excited to like finally kiss Mike, and he
Let's try that again.
oh my god. He's not into it.
That was like kissing my sister.
He's spent months and months developing a relationship with this girl, not letting it be physical in any way, and then they kiss for the first time, and he just is done. He's over it.
No offense, but I think we have what's known as absolutely no chemistry.
Lucy keeps trying to kiss him over and over and over to get him to feel the chemistry in some way, and he's just like, no. Sorry. Hey, at least he's being honest, but goddamn, man. Mike, get your shit together. Lucy is distraught about this. She's so upset. I really don't know if Lucy even likes Mike or not. I think she does, but it's also implied that she's not actually into him. So it's just, she's acting like she likes him, but then she doesn't like him. It's, I don't get it. I don't get it, okay? I've talked about this. I don't get it. She goes upstairs, she's beelining it toward her mom to talk about this, and Eric stops her. Eric's like, wait, what's going on? And she goes, guy stuff. Gotta talk to mom. And Eric is so funny.
I'm a guy. I can help you with guy things.
Wait, I'm a guy. Talk to me. This is where we get into Eric's jealousy story. Eric is jealous of Annie because all the kids always want to go to Annie for help. Feels like they like Annie more than him, so he's jealous. Lucy does eventually go to Eric for advice by the end of the episode, so it's okay. It ends up being okay. Mike and Lucy talk again, and Mike decides that instead of them dating each other, what they should do is set each other up with different people. And Mike already has in mind someone that he's interested in, and already has someone in mind that he wants to set Lucy up with. So then the drama becomes about Mike wanting to go out with this girl, Elena. Mike has tried multiple times to ask Elena out on a date, but now he needs Lucy's help because he's not been able to break through to her. Why is this? Well, Elena has a problem that's detrimental, absolutely destroying her life, and this problem is acne. This show portrays her acne as if it is the most horrible, ugly, disgusting thing that someone could have.
What's wrong with her face?
I think she has acne.
The Seventh Heaven writers do not hold back the punches about the acne hate.
Mike Pierce wants to go out with me. Is this some kind of prank? Because if it is, it's not funny. And chances are it's been done before, along with a lot nastier pranks.
This girl's life is absolutely brutal, entirely because of her acne.
Believe me, if I cared what other people said, I wouldn't get up in the morning.
But after Lucy tells her that Mike is genuinely interested in her and not trying to play a prank on her by asking her out, she gets very excited and thinks that Mike Pierce is the most wonderful guy in the world. Oh, Elena is so excited that Mike is interested in her.
In my estimation, Mike Pierce is a real human being. He's like one of the smartest guys in the senior class. Intelligence is so sexy.
Later, Simon is talking to Lucy and is also just so mean and so brutal about this girl's acne. It's horrible.
That's who Mike wants to go out with?
Yeah.
Mike obviously sees beyond physical appearance.
She's a beautiful girl. I don't see why everyone is hating on her so bad. Like, even with her acne, beautiful. And then Simon makes Lucy feel all bad that Mike rejected her.
You missed out on a great guy, Luce.
We're still friends.
Yeah, but the prize goes to
Elena.
Elena's definitely the winner.
As if Lucy had a choice in him not being interested in her. Like, Simon, come on, man.
You're kidding yourself if you think there's another Mike Pierce on this planet.
I realize that.
So then, at school, in public, Lucy goes up to Mike before his date with Elena, which is going to be that night. They're out in the front of the school, and she just grabs him and kisses him. And this time, he's like, whoa. Okay, that wasn't like my sister. Okay, Mike, just changing your mind because she kissed you a little more passionately this time. What? But he still rejects Lucy and is like, no, I'm really excited to go out with this girl, Elena. Sorry, you're too late.
Kiss came too late. Sorry, Luce.
This whole scenario just it makes no sense. Elena happened to see when Lucy grabbed Mike and kissed him, and she got very upset by that and felt like they were gonna try and play a mean prank on her like everybody does to her all the time, every single day because of her acne. So she stands him up. She does not show up at this date. Then Mike comes to Lucy. He's really upset because Elena stood him up. In this conversation, he explains why one kiss felt like a sister to him and the other kiss felt like not a sister. And I guess it was because when Elena had said that Mike was super cool and she was really excited to go out with him, that made Lucy feel jealous, and then she decided that she wanted him actually, and so that's why she kissed him with more passion, and that's why it felt like not a sister kiss.
I didn't realize what I had until it was gone.
I think it's more like you didn't want something until someone else wanted it.
All right, Mike. Okay, Mike, mind reader Mike, whatever. He's just being such an asshole to Lucy. I don't understand what the fuck his problem is.
You fixed this, Luce, but we're not gonna be friends.
Anyway, Simon runs into Elena. They clear the air.
Lucy got jealous when Mike wanted to go out with you.
Jealous of me?
He ends up bringing Elena to their house. They end up talking to Lucy, clearing the air with Lucy, and then Elena talks to Eric as well. And in this conversation, starts talking about how grateful she is for her acne and what a blessing it's been in her life.
I'm funny, I'm attractive, I'm me. And I've realized all this because I have acne.
Apparently, people have been relentlessly teasing her and bullying her every single day of her life because she has acne, but she's like, oh, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
When you think about it, it's a blessing.
Elena and Mike do end up going out on their ice cream date that night. And on their date, they talk about how they would literally like to have a dozen children or 24 children.
I want to have a house full of kids when I get married.
I want a lot of kids too.
I want a dozen.
I could handle a dozen. Maybe 2.
So Mike gets his happily ever after for now. Remember, he also had someone in mind that he wanted Lucy to go out with, right? So this guy shows up at the Camden home at the end of the night and meets Lucy.
Hi, could I talk to Lucy Camden?
I'm Lucy Camden.
His name is Jeremy, and he looks exactly like BJ Novak.
Hi.
He is super into Lucy immediately, and Lucy is super into him. So it looks like Mike actually knows what he's doing when it comes to setting his friends up, all right? Lucy's pretty excited about this Jeremy guy. Episode 14. It's Valentine's Day, and this is a major episode. The big drama of this episode is that Robbie has a date tonight for Valentine's Day, and everyone is freaking out, okay? It starts with Robbie asking to borrow the phone from Lucy so that he can call to make reservations for his date.
You have a date?
Yeah, but I'm not really comfortable talking about this with you.
Oh, okay.
Lucy just keeps pestering him.
Just give me a hint. I promise I won't tell.
So what?
To the point where it gets out in front of the whole family. Everyone knows, and then everyone starts pestering him about who he's going out with tonight, and everyone's so concerned and so worried about Robbie going on this date.
Robbie has a date for Valentine's Day.
A date with who?
Guys, you're starting to creep me out.
What's going on?
Robbie has a date for Valentine's.
I don't want to talk about it, okay?
Robbie can't catch a break. He even goes and hides in the family car. Like, he goes out into the garage and hides in the trunk of the car, and Matt hunts him down. Leave the man alone. Like, can he have 2 seconds of privacy? Oh my God. Everyone's trying to figure out who Robbie's date is, and in order to try and figure that out, they're trying to find a way to, like, double date with Robbie, so everyone tries to get their own date.
Who is this?
Duh, the love of your life.
Ruthie Camden?
Matt asks Robbie to have his date find a date for Matt so that they can double date.
Come on, your date must have a friend who would go out with me, and then we could double date. We're buddies, aren't we, buddy?
Simon calls up his old girlfriend, Dina, to try and do a double date with Robbie, and Dina is a whole other situation here. Dina was Simon's girlfriend for literally an entire season of the show, and then at the end, she had to move out of the state. They, like, wanted to try and make it work, and she could come visit the house and stuff. Now Dina's just around. I guess she's been living in town for the entire summer. It's so confusing. I don't understand it, but Dina's, like, temporarily in town, but also she has a boyfriend that she's gotten since she's been in town, so she's dating this other guy.
You both remember Dina, and this is her date, Peter.
I'm so sorry. I misunderstood.
finally, at the end of all of this, we figure out who Robbie's date was, and it is Cheryl, his ex-girlfriend, the one who, manipulated him into having unprotected sex and then pretended to be pregnant to get him to propose to her. That Cheryl. Yeah. So they go out and really they end up just talking because they actually don't love each other anymore, at least not in like a romantic way. Cheryl knows that Robbie is in love with Mary and Robbie is in love with Mary, not Cheryl, so they end up just talking as friends, basically. But Cheryl did actually find a friend of hers that she thought maybe Matt would want to go out with and gives her number to Robbie, which Robbie takes back home to Matt, and there's a really funny interaction that happens here.
Oh, I thought you know how this romance stuff works. You don't call her right now, you're gonna look desperate. I am desperate.
Matt goes off to meet this girl that night, and all we see is them like sitting on a bench together, smiling awkwardly, and say it with me, we never see her again. Robbie that night actually calls Mary. They have a little chat on the phone, and Robbie tells Mary that he loves her. And Mary just smiles and then hangs up on him. So that was a nice conversation. Lucy has a date tonight with Jeremy, all right, her new fancy boy toy. And I guess Jeremy's dad is a musician and he works at a theater. Lucy had told Jeremy that she has this dream. Her big dream is to perform on Broadway, all right, to be a singer Broadway lady. So for Valentine's Day, Jeremy sets up this super special date for them where he uses the theater that his dad works at, where his dad and other band members are gonna help Lucy perform a Broadway song while Jeremy sits in the audience or just watches her, I guess, because her dream is to be on Broadway. And oh my God, this is a first date. This is their first date. The red flags are screaming at me right now. I don't know whether to be impressed by this man or absolutely terrified for Lucy because he is love bombing the hell out of her. Well, Lucy does end up singing for Jeremy, and girl, Lucy, I love you, girly, but I don't think Broadway is in your future.
And I fall in love, or I'll never fall.
Jeremy's pretty into her singing, though. He leans over to his dad and insane. This is insane.
She's the one.
Okay, yeah, no, I am scared for Lucy. I am scared. The red flags. Girl, run away from this man. Priscilla, John's fiance, has this big, huge, horrible secret that she needs to tell John, and it's dragged out for so long.
I should give you your Valentine's gift now before Matt gets here.
You shouldn't give me a Valentine's gift at all.
What?
There's something I have to tell you, but aren't you gonna get that?
She is very much avoiding telling her big, deep, dark secret to John. Eventually, we learn her big secret is that she has been married before.
Well, it has a lot to do with why my parents don't want me to marry you.
Just tell me.
Can you turn around? I don't want to see your face when I tell you.
And John doesn't care. He's like, okay.
I've been married before.
And what has that got to do with us?
John actually tells Priscilla about his own parents' awkward Valentine's scenario that we've known about since season 1. We do get a little more lore about this, though. John's mom was married to this guy, and they got married on Valentine's Day. That's some new lore we didn't know. This guy went off to the military, and then they got divorced. It didn't really work out. It was a year-long, short little marriage. But to this day, John's mother will get a phone call from her ex-husband every single Valentine's Day. It's a very strange scenario that they refuse to let go of, these writers. They love this weird Valentine's Day plot. Anyway, since John's mom had been married before she met John's father, John doesn't care that Priscilla's been married before, and she is so mad about it.
Are you saying you don't care?
Why would I care?
Why wouldn't you care?
She's absolutely pissed at him for not being upset with her, which is so strange. And what's also so strange, apparently the reason why her parents were so against her marrying John was because he didn't know yet that she had been previously married, so they disowned her.
Well, it has a lot to do with why my parents don't want me to marry you.
What in the the world? What is this storyline? Priscilla's parents sound absolutely insane.
You really and truly don't care that I was married before?
No.
I've never loved a man more than I love you at this moment, John Hamilton.
That last episode is just the beginning. I feel like from here on out, we're sort of just diving headfirst into the insanity of these plot lines. So yeah, episode 15. Mary is coming home for the weekend. Remember how Mary told her dad she's going to school, she's working, she's being super responsible, she's finally got her life figured out. This is all true. Mary has actually got her shit together. She also made this whole plan for herself to take some time off of school and work and take a weekend trip home, paying for it all herself, etc., because she wants to spend time with her family and see Robbie again, because remember how he just told her that he's in love with her over the phone? Yeah, that's a huge part of why she's going back.
I'm going to see Robbie. I'm going to see Robbie. Woo!
And once they all find out that Mary's coming back, their reaction is so strange because Robbie is living in their home.
Mary.
Is she coming?
Yeah, she wants to talk to Robbie.
Congratulations. You're about to reap what you have sown. Hi, Mary.
They're all like, is that really a good idea? Should Mary really come back?
It wasn't my idea, it was her idea.
Mary has literally changed her life. She's doing all the right things. She's coming home to see her family, and they're just like, this might be kind of weird.
It's Mary. She's coming home this weekend.
Is that a good idea? She's coming home for the weekend.
Is that a good idea?
Hi, Mary.
Hey, guess what?
Mary's coming home. Is that a good idea?
Shouldn't you be excited to see her? She was ripped away from the home without warning for anybody. Like, no one cares. When Mary arrives at the house, nobody is there to greet her. She's looking around, yelling around, no one cares. And here's the thing. There are people in the house. Like, people are home, but they just don't give a shit about her.
And the kid's allergic to grass.
He's allergic to everything.
Hello?
Oh! I am on Mary's side on this one. Yeah, I know she's made mistakes, but she is not the perpetrator here. She was a victim in this scenario where she was completely sent out of the house against her will without warning, and then she comes back to visit after she's done all the right things, and no one gives a shit about her.
Hello, I'm home.
Imagine how that would make you feel. Oh, it made me so mad. They're such jerks to her. Mary gets a chance to talk to Robbie and kisses him, and then invites Robbie to move out with her to Buffalo. She found a place that would hire him that's doing the same job he's doing now for better pay, and that they could make a life together in New York. She actually has a really good plan set out for the both of them. Like, seems like she's done her homework on this, and Robbie rejects it.
I can't do anything to jeopardize my relationship with your family. I can't take off and go to Buffalo. They trust me now. I can't do it. I just can't.
And this was insane to me too. Like, Robbie just told her that he loves her. She flies home to invite him to move out to New York with her. And he's like,
If we could just get our lives on track together, maybe one day we could get married and have a family of our own.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Dude, if you really loved this woman, you would do it. Like, he's got nothing to lose. He has no ties in this area except for the Camden family. Robbie wants to keep living at the Camden home so desperately because he wasn't parented properly as a child, and now he feels like he needs to revert back into his childhood and be completely reparented by Eric and Annie. I am not kidding. This is basically what he says.
I didn't have what you had growing up. Someone showing me what is clearly right and what is clearly wrong.
He's so emotionally stunted that he needs to be reparented. So essentially, he chooses living in the Camden home over being with Mary, the woman he just said that he loves.
Can't do it, I just can't.
Lucy finds a wallet in the dirty laundry that has a condom in it. They don't actually say it's a condom out loud until Eric does at like the very end, but they imply it over and over and over that there's a condom in this wallet.
Please, is this yours? Let this be yours.
No, it's not mine. Why? Why did you want this to be mine?
And everyone thinks that it's Robbie's wallet. They're insisting that it's his, and he keeps denying it. Like, guys, that's not mine. I think it might be Simon's wallet. He's also a man in this household. And everyone's like, no, it couldn't possibly be Simon. It's definitely you, Robbie.
It's not mine.
Well, it's not mine, it's not my dad's, and I'm pretty sure it's yours.
There is another guy in the house.
It's not Simon's.
It goes on and on and on, and nobody believes Robbie, which is wild to me. Everyone is in denial about Simon.
But it wasn't my wallet.
You don't have to lie.
It's Simon's wallet.
Right.
Strange to me though, because Simon has changed a lot this episode. He suddenly has not one, but 2 piercings in his ear. Remember a few episodes ago when they made him take out his ear piercing because of reasons, I guess? Yeah, now he has 2 earrings in one ear and nobody says a damn thing about it. And he has those earrings for the remainder of the season. Not a peep from Eric and Annie. Anyway, Simon's really in his bad boy persona now. He's got the leather jacket, he's got the earrings, and he's going out with Sasha, the spooky elf girl. Sasha is significantly older than Simon as well. She's 18, and Simon, I think he's like 15. Sasha invites Simon over to her place to watch a movie with some friends. She comes to pick him up and tells the parents this is what they're doing. This is what Simon has the impression. You know, they're going over to her place. They're going to watch a movie with friends. They're going to watch The Sixth Sense. That's what they've said. Well, they show up at Sasha's place and nay, there are no other people and there is no movie. Sasha lied to Simon and to his parents and specifically just wants to have sex with Simon.
We've talked about being alone enough. I figured it was time to do something about it.
Aren't we gonna watch a movie?
Maybe later.
She is not subtle. She knows what she wants from this young child.
Can I get a glass of water? I'm a little thirsty.
You can have anything you want. You're Simon. Simon Camden.
We cut from that for the rest of the episode proceeding to be about everyone worried about Simon having sex. Oh my gosh, Simon's gonna have sex tonight. Simon's having sex. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone's so worried about it, okay? This ends up actually being so funny. I laughed so hard at how this ended up playing out. The whole family ends up finding out about the condom and they all start figuring out that it's probably Simon that had the condom, which it was actually. Eric goes out to get ice cream. When he comes back, everyone thought that he was out spying on Simon.
Sorry, traffic.
Traffic?
You think there wasn't traffic?
I think you were spying.
What do you know that I don't know?
We both know that he's not watching a movie with a bunch of people.
He eventually finds out that Simon is probably having sex. Eric is like, uh-oh, I'm gonna go spy on Simon.
They gave me the wrong order. I'll go back.
I'll go with you.
The whole family goes to spy on Simon. Matt gets out of the car and peeks in the window at Sasha's house, which her parents are super rich and she has her own guest house, by the way. Matt looks in the window and sees Simon sitting down with Sasha holding hands and a bunch of other kids in the room and they're watching a movie. Simon actually is pretty responsible and he did not want to lie to his parents and so he made Sasha invite friends over and watch a movie and they did not end up having sex. Simon's a good boy, all right? A respectful young lad, even though he's a bad boy. Simon sees Matt looking through the window and then goes outside to chase down Matt. And this is where it was just so funny. Matt starts running down the driveway yelling, go, go, drive, drive.
Drive! Drive! With me! Drive with me!
They start driving away without Matt. So then it ends up being Matt running away, Simon chasing him, and then Robbie and Mary are having their own chat and they see them running by. And so like Robbie gets out and starts chasing them. And it's just like everyone's chasing each other. It's so funny. And then it ends up with like all the boys having a bro chat out on a walk together. So we got Robbie, Eric, Matt, and Simon, and they're talking about sex. Simon talks about how he didn't have sex with Sasha, but he liked the idea that a woman would want to have sex with him because that's what made him feel like a real man.
I knew you'd say I was too young.
Well, you are too young.
The opportunity was there. Too young or not. It made me feel like a man just to have that opportunity.
What is this show anymore? I don't know. Episode 16. All right. Highlights of this episode. First of all, I noticed that suddenly everyone's hair is different. Like, I don't know how much time elapsed between them filming the last episode and them filming this one, but everyone looks super different. It was kind of shocking, a little jarring. Apparently it's been a while. There's another Simon bad boy moment that we get to enjoy. He's hanging out with a friend of his and they're literally just pretending to play instruments. Listening to music and pretending to play instruments just seems to be a pretty regular occurrence in Simon's bad boy era. His whole plot is that he is procrastinating his history paper to do this. They're just playing fake drums and air guitar. Is this what teenage boys did in the early 2000s? Lucy's boyfriend that she just met, and you know, he's like, she's the one.
She's the one.
This episode, he is gone. His dad got a job with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra, so he had to move to New York. Lucy is pretty depressed about it, so she calls up her old friend Ashley to hang out. Now, Ashley was featured in season 2, played by Mila Kunis. No longer played by Mila Kunis this episode, but it's still Ashley, I guess. Ashley is featured in this episode, not so we can get to know her better, explore her character. No, Ashley is here so that we can introduce Ashley's mother, Serena. Ashley's mother is a wild child, apparently. You know, basically Kelly Donovan from the Vampire Diaries. Speaking of, did you know I made videos about the Vampire Diaries? You should watch those. Ashley and Serena take Lucy out on the town. They go to the pool hall, and Serena ends up talking to some guy at the pool hall. Lucy and Ashley get all uncomfortable that Ashley's mom is talking to a younger guy as if she's being like predatory toward him.
She does this all the time. She's always picking up guys that are way too young for her.
This guy's in his 30s for sure. Yeah, sure, maybe there's an age gap of a little bit, but like when you're an adult, you're an adult. Like you can be friends with adults significantly older than you and it's not weird, okay? But they're acting like she's flirting with this guy who's a teenager or something. She's such a scoundrel. She gets invited to this guy's party.
Who wants to go to Alan's party with me tomorrow night? Mom, you just met Alan. I know, that's why I can't go alone. You two have to come and protect me.
So they go to this party and everybody there is like 27 or older. But the girls are so surprised that it's just adults at this party.
Did you know it was gonna be like this?
Yeah, this guy's clearly in his 30s. Who did you think was gonna be at the party?
Also, those two guys are giving me the creeps. I mean, they're 27 and we're 18.
No, really, Ashley is just disappointed that her mother is a delinquent adult, I guess, and she's so disappointed in her mom for just wanting to party all the time, which is an appropriate feeling to have. I'm not mad about that, okay?
You wouldn't understand. You have a mother, a real mother. Sometimes I wish I had a real mother too, not some woman who'd rather be my friend than my mother.
Serena is a delinquent and does neglect her daughter, but this is just such a weird way to show that. There's nothing inherently wrong with just being a fun mom and enjoying socializing and going to parties.
I thought that you liked that your mother was hip and cool.
Welcome to the dark side of having a hip and cool mom.
They decide they're gonna leave, and Serena's like, why are you guys going? You should still hang out at the party. And Ashley gets so mad at her mom and then calls her out for being neglectful and being more of a friend than a mom.
I want a mom that I can call to come get me if I'm having a bad time at a party. I want a mom that yells at me when I'm late, tells me to eat my vegetables, go to bed.
I personally would have liked to have a mother that was like at least a little bit my friend, but that's just me. That's just me.
Welcome to the dark side of having a hip and cool mom.
After Ashley's heroic speech to her mom about how she needs to be a better mother, Serena's like, oh yeah, you're right. I should be a better mother. Let's go home and talk about it. Like all of a sudden being so mature.
Ashley, I had no idea you felt the way you do. Look, I know that you were planning on spending the night at Lucy's, but maybe instead we could go home and talk. I'm gonna go get my coat and then we can go, okay?
Okay, I don't see what the overall problem is. Like, yeah, she likes to have fun and she is at a party with people who are younger than her, but like, she hasn't done anything wrong. And as soon as Ashley communicates her feelings, Serena's super receptive to it. Anyway, moving on. We continue the plot lines that make no sense with episode 17. Matt is supposed to have a psychological evaluation from like a licensed psychiatrist before he gets accepted to medical school or something like that. It's for medical school doctor stuff, okay?
And I knew nothing about this until today.
So?
So what if I'm certifiably nuts?
Okay, deep breath. Deep breath.
He goes into the hospital, goes to the wrong room, and ends up talking to a guy that looks like he might be a psychiatrist, but is actually just a patient at the hospital.
What's with the hair? Well, I'm just experimenting with some different looks.
And you like that one?
Yeah,
I like it. That can't be your best look.
Misses his appointment with the psych and just talks to this random dude all day long. They even leave the hospital, like, go out and walk around and stuff. Matt ends up calling him a holy man.
I feel like I'm talking to a holy man.
The doctor of life.
That was a patient, not a doctor.
That was Doc, the doctor of life.
He doesn't really do much except just, like, talk to Matt about his life and, like, point out where Matt is just being dumb, I guess.
How am I gonna live my life and become a doctor at the same time?
Well, what if, while living your life, you become a doctor?
But when they first start talking, Matt's talking about his family. He brings up Lucy and Mike.
My sister Lucy's boyfriend, Mike Pierce, he tried to kill himself. He's been to a lot of shrinks.
Matt calls Mike Lucy's boyfriend, so I'm confused, to say the least. The wildest part about this is the way that the fake therapist talks about Lucy and Mike.
Well, tell me about Lucy. Something besides the fact that she's not afraid to go out with a guy who tried to kill himself.
I'm speechless. What a wild thing to say. Again, we can't have a single episode Mike is in without mentioning that he tried to kill himself, because that's his whole entire personality, apparently. Eric is also at the hospital today. He was just there to see somebody who wasn't available, and then someone else, some random guy named Harold, hears someone call Eric Reverend, and he's like, Reverend, I need you.
Reverend? Reverend?
So Eric goes to talk to Harold. Harold tells him the doctors have said that no medicine is going to be able to help him and he's going to die in 6 weeks. It is wild to me, the bold anti-medical professional stance they are taking with this. The whole conflict of this plotline is the fact that the doctor told the patient that he has about 6 weeks to live. That's it. And everyone is so upset and acting like he has committed one of the worst atrocities in human history. Eric goes up to this doctor and he's like, how dare you tell this man he only has 6 weeks to live? And the doctor's like, well, I don't know. That's what the evidence says. That's my job.
I have a problem with your telling your patient when to die.
Medicine is a science. My prognosis was based on evidence.
Blasphemy, how could you? Everyone's shaming this doctor for, like, not using God in a medical facility, which is just wild. Even more wild is the fact that the nurse... When Eric is confronting this doctor, there's a nurse right next to them listening in on the conversation. And after the doctor walks away, she turns to Eric like, do something.
Do something.
I beg your pardon?
Don't ask me to repeat it. He's a doctor. I'm a nurse. I didn't say a thing.
Like she's being held hostage or some shit. I'm just a nurse. He's a doctor. There's nothing I can do.
Do something.
Do what? What? I'm failing to understand, first of all, what the doctor has done that's wrong. Secondly, what are they supposed to do exactly? Oh, do something. I can't do anything. I'm just a nurse. But what? Do what? Do what, though? They're acting like this is a scandal. It's Harold Gate.
I didn't say a thing.
Then they reconnect with Matt and the not psychiatrist at the end of the day.
The doctor of life.
Apparently, he was given a terminal diagnosis and he was only supposed to have, a certain short amount of time to live, but 12 years later, he's still alive. So this guy was able to defy the odds, exceed expectations. Great for him. That's wonderful. He attributes this all to God, of course, and then tells Harold...
It turns out that they can't give you 6 weeks and they can't take them away.
Only God can decide when to take him.
You're not going anywhere until God is ready to embrace you. And that just doesn't have a darn thing to do with medical authorities.
I think the whole point they were trying to get at is like, you can't tell people when they're gonna die, okay? That's God's job. Don't play God, doctors. And honestly, this sets a pretty dangerous precedent. Like, you don't need doctors, just God, basically telling terminally ill patients that if they just pray, they won't die. Probably the most Christian plot we've had this entire season. It's interesting how they've been decreasing the amount of Christian messaging each season, but it seems to just get more wild whenever it is mentioned.
I feel like pizza. You feel like a pizza?
Simon wants to break up with Sasha.
I mean, outside of sex and fashion, she's illiterate. I'm telling you, I don't know what I ever liked about her.
He and Lucy are trying to talk through maybe a good way for him to break up with Sasha, and Annie jumps in right on cue with this banger of a line.
And by the way, Simon, I don't want you going out with Sasha anymore. I forbid it.
Perfect timing, Annie. Thanks for that. And Simon does decide to break up with Sasha under the pretenses that Annie does not want him to date her anymore. So Sasha comes over to the house to confront Annie. They end up having this whole conversation diving into Sasha's psyche, and Annie helps her realize the reason why this 18-year-old has been going after a 15-year-old is because she knows that Simon won't pressure her into having sex, so he's safe. And that's it. That's why she's dating Simon. She decides that, yep, that's right. That is why I'm dating Simon, and I just don't want to have sex, and all the men expect me to, and I'm not going to do that anymore.
She helped me realize that it was easy to go out with you because you weren't going to pressure me for sex.
So she's not going to have sex with anybody, not even guys her age, and she wants to break up with Simon because she wants to talk about more mature things.
I have a lot more in common with guys my own age. Therefore, we can talk about more than malls and shopping and stuff.
Which is why Simon wanted to break up with her. I don't know, it's kind of funny. And of course, Mike comes over during this whole saga with Sasha at the house and gives one of the cringiest quotes to Simon I think I have ever heard, especially given the context of what we know about Mike's character.
Here's something I learned from being around mental patients. A tip for staying sane and healthy. Just tell the truth.
I can't.
Something I learned from being around mental patients.
So cringe. It's such terrible character development and character writing for this man. Poor Mike. He deserved better. Speaking of Mike and Lucy, apparently they are both on the rebound. I guess the 24 kids fantasy didn't really work out with Elena, so Mike is back in Lucy's life, and they decide they're gonna rebound date each other. So yeah, they are dating.
I'm on the rebound.
Great, so we're both on the rebound.
And Mike admits he has feelings for Lucy, and then Lucy's like, well, I don't have feelings for you, because this has all been so clearly and regularly established, and I am so in the know of what is happening in this relationship.
I still have feelings for you. I know that you still don't have those kind of feelings for me.
That works for me.
Okay, let's move on. Episode 18. Words for this episode. I have none. I have no words. Just some of the most insane shit ever written for television. The main plot of all this revolves around Robbie and Mary. Robbie at school meets a girl who he thinks is Mary because she looks almost exactly like Mary. They decide to study together, okay?
This woman comes up, taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, and it's you.
What? Robbie calls Mary to tell her about this girl that he met because this girl reminded him of Mary so much.
She plays basketball, she goes to college on an academic scholarship, and she looks like she could be your twin.
Mary gets super jealous and upset, basically interpreting this whole situation as Robbie finding a Mary 2.0.
So she's me, but a better me.
And to add insult to injury, her name is Marie. Insane. This is insane. Mary is so mad at Robbie, picking a fight with him. But behind the scenes, what Mary is not telling Robbie is that she ran into her ex-boyfriend, Wilson, the single dad man guy. And she and Wilson are considering going to get dinner together. Everyone in the family knows that Mary is going out with Wilson except for Robbie. And again, I am so confused because everyone is talking as if Mary and Robbie are in a long distance relationship, okay? All of a sudden, it's established.
Maybe you should talk to Matt. He's had more experience with long distance relationships.
Mary and Robbie are dating. They're in a long distance relationship officially, which makes no sense. Like, I thought he just rejected her. How is this a long distance relationship? Anyway, everyone is really upset with Mary because they think that Mary is cheating on Robbie with Wilson.
You really should tell Robbie about this. Long distance relationships are really tricky.
Meanwhile, at the Camden home, Robbie invites Mary 2.0, aka Marie, over to their house.
Mary.
It's Marie.
No, you're Mary. Take our word for it. Mary.
The funniest part of all of this is that Matt gets the idea in his head that now Robbie is going to start trying to replace the entire family with lookalikes.
This is sick. What's next? This boarder of ours brings home someone that looks like you, or Ruthie, or Sam and David, and then he's gonna bury you all in the backyard.
They're so paranoid about it.
What if Robbie brings home lookalikes for all of us? That would be hysterical.
That's just funny. That's a fun idea.
It's funny. It's a funny thing.
Also, Marie is not weirded out by this at all. She's fully aware she looks exactly like their sister and this guy's ex-girlfriend, and she has no problems. Perfectly comfortable. She absolutely should be so weirded out by this. Even at the end of the night, she's like flirting with Robbie.
I wish I could meet a guy like you. You're so nice.
But Robbie does not take interest in her more than just, it was a curiosity for a day. Wow, what an interesting thing. I found someone who looks like Mary, but he doesn't even want to be her friend. He just brought her over to test the waters, I guess. Robbie talks to Eric and finds out that Mary has actually been allowed to come home for a while. Like, she doesn't have to stay in New York anymore. Eric and Annie told her it's fine to come back home, and she doesn't want to come back home. Robbie eventually learns that Mary is going out this night with Wilson, and he's really upset about it because Mary failed to mention anything about that to Robbie, while Robbie was super transparent with Mary. He calls her and confronts her about it, which she did actually go out with Wilson that night, while Wilson was like creepily coaching his child to pretend to be sleepy so that he could have alone time with Mary, but that's a whole different thing.
Then I want you to tell me you're sleepy and you want to watch cartoons while you fall asleep.
Billy, the little child, also says something extremely out of pocket.
I want to watch Mary while I fall asleep.
Anyway, Mary did not disclose any of this to Robbie. Robbie's mad, and Mary just flips it around on Robbie and blames him for everything again, which is so shitty. Like, she's being terrible right now. Dark Mary is in full swing at the moment. Also, on Mary's way home from Wilson's place that night, she runs into Jeremy, Lucy's one true love, Jeremy. They run into each other at the train station and they smile at each other. Dun dun dun! Wait, there's more to this episode. Yeah, one more thing that is insane. Insane. Matt goes out to a restaurant and runs into Robbie's ex-girlfriend, Cheryl. He's immediately smitten with her, and even after finding out who she is, he still invites her to sit with him for dinner, and she agrees. By the end of their dinner together, Matt wants to, date her, and she says no, but they're both part of the Clean Plate Club, so...
Could we go out just because I like you? I mean, we're both members of the Clean Plate Club.
Cheryl says that Matt can take her out on a date.
And if you want to go out with me, then I want to be treated like any other woman you'd go out with.
Yeah? And Matt does some insane things with Cheryl. She was crystal clear with Matt about exactly what her expectations and boundaries were.
Call me ahead of time, ask me out for something nice, and don't even expect a goodnight kiss.
He ends up sticking around the restaurant where she works and then calling her from the restaurant that she's working at before her shift ends, insisting that they go out together.
I thought you left.
I couldn't.
I told you to call in advance if you wanted to go out with me.
Matt totally coerces her into going on a date with him that night.
I don't know.
Don't make a big deal of this. It's just a movie.
As the seasons have gone on, we are just getting more and more and more evidence that Matt is low-key kind of a bad dude. Kind of a little manipulative motherfucker. Episode 19 was interesting. Robbie has kind of started figuring out that Matt is going out with Cheryl, and Matt is not subtle about it. He's acting like a complete weirdo.
I have to ask, why are you being so nice to me?
Well, I didn't exactly welcome you into the house here, and I was wrong about you, and now I feel guilty.
It makes me feel bad that you feel guilty, so please stop.
I'll try.
Are you sure that's it?
That's it.
Cheryl has told Matt that she will not go out on another date with him unless he talks to Robbie about them dating first.
If you want to go out with me, you have to tell Robbie.
Well, I know. I just wanted to hear your voice before I left for work.
And can I just say, Cheryl is like a picture-perfect example of how to set healthy boundaries.
Why do we have to involve Robbie?
If you don't say anything, it looks like we're hiding because we think we're doing something wrong. If this is really about you and me and not about you and Robbie, then tell him.
Like, holy shit, did you hear that? My God, Cheryl, wow. Boundary setting queen.
Don't be busy, please. I want to see you tonight.
Only if.
I tell Robbie I got it. Look, I'll tell him today, and I'll pick you up at 8.
Matt is just terrible at this. He will not talk to Robbie. He's just so awkward and uncomfortable. He's being such a little baby child about it.
You know, what goes on between a man and a woman is between that man and woman, and no other man or woman, no matter what man or woman that man or woman has been with in the past. Don't you agree?
And also, he's love bombing Cheryl really hard.
So I guess you didn't tell Robbie. That was my one stipulation for going out with you.
You had one more. I had to agree to treat you right, and I'm treating you right.
Thank you. Come in.
No! Cheryl, no! Cheryl gives into the love bombing, even after Matt, again, directly violates the one boundary, the one condition that she set for them to go out on a date. He doesn't talk to Robbie.
Can't we just make this relationship about the two of us and not about the two of us and your old boyfriend?
That sounds sort of reasonable.
And then he, makes out with her, all romantical, outside her house.
Thanks for the flowers and the candy. Good night.
What is happening right now? Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to revoke Cheryl's boundary queen title because boundaries are worth nothing if you do not stick to them, if you don't hold people accountable for their behavior that violates your boundaries. You know what I mean? Your word is nothing. Your boundaries are nothing, and you're showing Matt that your boundaries are nothing. Boundary queen no longer, Cheryl. Sorry. Next. Ashley's mom shows up. Remember her, Serena? She shows up to talk to Eric at church. Eric misses dinner, and Annie hears them over the phone laughing and giggling together.
Hello.
Annie is very upset. She tries to talk to Eric about him counseling with Serena, who's coming to him for help.
Ashley's mother, Serena, she promised Ashley she'd get some help, and I'm helping her.
No, you're not going to help her.
He's seeing Serena multiple times a week for her improving her life. And Annie's like, dude, I'm not comfortable with this.
Although I have no objections to you getting her some help with someone else.
And Eric's first instinct is to just dismiss her feelings, which is wild.
Look, I understand if you're upset that I missed dinner.
I'm not upset that you miss dinner. You miss dinner all the time. But I'm not used to your missing dinner because you're flirting with some single woman who happens to just drop by your office to have a good time.
But then he does agree to have Serena see somebody else.
If you're not comfortable, I'll find someone else for her.
Good. But Eric keeps seeing her and keeps missing dinner. So Annie does her petty revenge move by making these really extravagant, delicious dinners and desserts and not saving any food for Eric, which is actually so hilarious.
How was dinner?
Oh, you missed it. It was great.
And there's nothing left?
Are you kidding?
What was dessert?
Apple pie. The real thing. No, all gone. Mom had seconds.
Eric does eventually tell Serena she needs to go see another counselor, and then Serena shows up at the Camden home to talk to Annie.
I'm sorry I caused any trouble at all. Your husband offered to see me twice a week, free of charge, if that's what it took to get my life headed in a better direction.
Serena seems like she's being very sincere here, telling Annie that she is genuinely seeking help, that she's not trying to go after her husband, you know, she's not trying to get with Eric. She just felt like she had a good therapist type connection with him and would like to continue seeing him so that she can have her daughter in her life, okay?
He went out of his way to make me feel comfortable and to encourage me. I was so psyched. Please, give me another chance. I promise to stick to business when I'm in those sessions.
But Annie doubles down, refuses to admit any fault in this situation, and insists that she is still trying to go after Eric.
I don't like to get involved in his counseling.
But you are involved.
I'm sorry, I have to go.
And it really is painted as if Annie is kind of crazy here. Eric and Serena are both trying to tell her that she's crazy.
I know you're not happy about my helping this woman, but I think you're even unhappier with yourself for telling me not to help her.
Is that what you think?
Annie finally relents and is like, fine, you can see her, but can't wait to say, I told you so.
All I want to know is when she makes her move, and then I want an apology from you for not trusting me.
Annie's being a little bit overly judgmental of Serena, but also Eric is being super assholey for not even acknowledging like Annie's feelings are valid and not like taking her seriously. I guess we'll have to see who's right. We'll have to wait for the update, guys. A kid at school calls Simon Virgin Camden, and it's a big deal, okay?
Hey, Virgin Camden. How's it going?
What did you just call me?
Annie went out to lunch with Sasha's mom and implied that Simon doesn't have sex. You know, that's the reason why Sasha wanted to date him, remember, is because Simon won't have sex. So then Sasha's mom started going out to lunch with everyone else's mom and telling everyone that Simon is a virgin. So now all these people are calling him Virgin Camden, and he's very upset about his mom sharing his personal business to some other random gossipy lady. Simon talks to Annie about this, saying like, hey, this is really making me sad. Like, this is hurting me. And you know what Annie's reaction is? Wild, dude.
Are you trying to kill me? I mean, is that what you're trying to do?
No.
Virgin Camden.
Is that so bad?
That's terrible. What kind of mother? It ends up being all good though, because I guess Simon being a virgin is super good for him.
Hello?
Hi, I was wondering if you'd be available to go out to the movies, maybe on Saturday afternoon?
Are you asking me out?
I know I don't know you that well, but I like what I've heard about you.
He starts getting phone calls and he is starting to book out his calendar with dates. Because Simon is a virgin, that means he won't pressure them into sex. So hordes of women are wanting to go out with Simon because he's a virgin.
Virgin Camden. Yeah, it's just a little joke. You gotta have a sense of humor about these things.
Another blatantly super Christian propagandized plot line. Not saying that young children should be having sex, okay? I'm just saying it's like they're sexing up virginity almost.
Who knew that virtue turned women on?
Turns out Annie's instincts are just 1,000% right all the time. Yeah, she was totally right to be gabbing to other people about Simon's sex life, all right? It was for the best. And also, she's totally in the right preemptively judging Serena without really any evidence. Ruthie gives her this speech, okay, that is just terrible.
How is it that your self-esteem is so high?
You should know, I get it from you.
What?
When you helped out Sasha's mom, telling her personal stuff about Simon, you didn't care if Simon liked you or not. And look what you did to Dad, told him not to help that laugh for Serena. And you didn't care if Serena liked it or not. Or if Dad liked it or not. You go, girl.
Mom, I learned my self-esteem from you because you don't give a fuck. Like how you spread Simon's personal business all over the place and accused a woman of going after your husband with absolutely no evidence. That's what I love about you, Mom.
Telling her personal stuff about Simon? But he's your own family, your own son, your own flesh and blood.
Episode 20, they tried to get really creative here. It starts with Eric writing in his journal at 4 a.m. And he makes it clear in his journal writing that he's writing this at 4 a.m., saying that he's had a revelation, he's received some information, and if he reveals this revelation, all hell will break loose, okay? Chaos, drama, fire, hellfire, obviously. And then we get a flashback. It's a flashback episode. This is what we learn in the flashback, okay? Annie's mom comes to visit.
But I have to go now.
Not Annie's mom. Annie's dad comes to visit. All right, I don't like this guy. I think it's pretty well documented. I do not like this man. But Annie, obsessed with her dad. Annie's dad shows up to talk to Eric, not Annie, to Eric, telling him he has a confession. He has another child. Annie has a sister. And my mind is reeling when I hear this. You know, I'm like, wait, what? So the big secret, the big revelation is actually that Annie's dad cheated on her mom? Like, whoa, that is wild information to just be dropping on us right before the season ends, you know? That's what I was thinking happened. No, it's actually not that bad. It's really not a big deal at all, but we are making this a very big deal, people. Eventually, we get the full story from Grandpa. All it is he had a girlfriend when he was 17. They had sex probably like one time, and then she ended up disappearing for forever. And he suspects that maybe she got pregnant and had a baby, but he has had no clue up until this point. Like, any information was withheld from him. A few months ago, his ex-girlfriend passed away, and upon her passing, her daughter reached out to Annie's dad, being like, hey, you're my dad. Why they never reached out to him this entire time, I don't know. But this is like news for everybody. And honestly, it's great news. We should be excited and happy about this. Like, oh wow, there's another family member. It's a bummer we haven't gotten to know you this entire time. But no, Annie is pissed, okay? Pissed.
No. I'm his only daughter. I'm your only daughter.
If he cheated on your mother, that's one thing. But like, he had sex one time when he was 17. Let it go. Like, he didn't even know. He didn't even know she existed until a few months ago. Like, stop being a bitch.
Why would this woman come to him now and make his life miserable?
Annie is so deeply hurt.
I don't want to know what her name is.
She's allowed to react however she needs to. She's allowed to feel whatever feelings she has. Like, ultimately, this is a really cool thing. A normal person would probably be pretty excited about this, not like pissed off.
What are you thinking? What is my dad thinking?
Annie's older sister is named Lily. She is in town for a very brief amount of time to meet Annie's dad and maybe even Annie and the family. Eric talks Annie into it. He talks her into meeting her sister, finally. And they have a fucking great time. She seems super chill. While they're introducing the family, Ruthie brings up Mary.
You want us to tell you about the one who got sent off to Buffalo?
As if it's some funny joke that they sent Mary to Buffalo.
Want us to tell you about the one who got sent off to Buffalo?
No! You literally exiled one of your daughters from the family in such a traumatic way. I'm not gonna let this go. Stop acting so chill about it. It's not a joke. Episode 21, almost there. We're at the two-parter season finale tradition here, and honestly, this whole season finale saga was really wild and underwhelming at the same time. Basically, episode 21 is like the setup, and then episode 22 is the punchline. I might just mix it all together as if it was just one episode, because there's just so many things that happen. I'm gonna try and make my life simpler here. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. And I think it's appropriate that we start this off with Mary's storyline. Mary is coming home from New York again, and she's talking on the phone with Robbie as if they are dating still. They haven't broken up yet?
Remember when you asked me to come home and I said I wasn't ready? I'm ready.
What?
I'm coming home tomorrow.
Okay, so Mary and Robbie, I guess, are still long-distance relationshiping. Mary's gonna try and come home to stay for the whole summer so that she and Robbie can be together and date in person.
Isn't this great? We will finally be dating and living in the same town.
But while Mary is at the airport in New York, getting ready to leave for Glen Oak, California, we get an airport scene. Early 2000s airport scene. Airport scene! Airport scene!
What are you doing here?
I'm trying to stop you from making a huge mistake.
Wilson followed her to the airport to try and beg her to stay. Mary and Wilson have been dating for months. And Wilson's like, Mary, what are you doing? Why are you gonna go be with Robbie? You've been cheating on him this whole time. Like, clearly you want to be with me, not him. And she's like, no, I want to be with Robbie. Robbie is the one for me. But Robbie doesn't want to date Mary. He's worried that them dating might jeopardize the chance he has to stay in the Camden home.
We're here, together like we've wanted to be for so long. This is what you wanted, right? You did call me and ask me to come home.
That was a while ago.
Even though Annie and Eric are actually okay with them dating each other while they live in the same home, Robbie's acting really weird, and we just go with it. We say, okay, Robbie, I don't understand you, but we're figuring it out as we go.
What is wrong? You didn't even say 2 words to me on the ride home, and you've been acting like a nut ever since you picked me up at the airport.
We can't date.
What?
We could still be friends.
So Mary flies home to be with Robbie, but then Robbie suddenly just doesn't want to date her anymore, even though they were in a long-distance relationship, apparently. In order to make Robbie jealous and think that Mary's all, like, grown up and mature and stuff, she tells Robbie that she had sex one time. Like, she hooked up with somebody before, and it was a guy in New York that she met randomly at a train station.
You would never do that.
I did that.
What happened to the guy?
He said he had a girlfriend, and I'm not proud of the way that I acted, but it happened, and you can believe me or not.
And this mystery man's name?
Jeremy.
Where have we seen that before? Uh-oh. And that sort of ties into Lucy's plotline this episode, because Jeremy is in town from New York visiting Lucy. So Lucy and Jeremy are in the house, and Robbie and Mary are in the house, and apparently Mary and Jeremy have hooked up, okay? Messy. Robbie, when seeing Jeremy and realizing this is the mysterious stranger Mary hooked up with in New York, punches Jeremy in the fucking face, dude.
What's going on?
Monday. Now, turns out this was all a lie. Mary was lying about sleeping with Jeremy. She did meet him, and I'm pretty sure they did become friends in New York, but they never hooked up, and it was just a story to make Robbie jealous. It's just unfortunate that Jeremy also happened to be Lucy's girlfriend, so it caused a lot more drama than she was intending. That's what you get for lying, Mary. Naughty, naughty.
I mean, I don't know why she would have told Robbie otherwise, but we know our daughter, and our daughter doesn't do things like that. There has to be a logical explanation.
Says that like sex is so icky.
Our daughter doesn't do things like that.
Dude, you and your wife are so horny for each other. Don't even. Everyone is obviously really mad at Mary, and she's being all like, why is everyone treating me like this? Everyone is so mean to me.
I knew coming back here for the summer was a mistake. I knew people wouldn't give me a chance.
Bitch, you caused this problem yourself. You lied to Robbie about sleeping with Jeremy. Opened this whole can of worms. Yeah, people are gonna be mad at you, girl.
It's just like old times. Something bad happens. I must have done it because I'm bad.
Mary also admits to Robbie eventually that she came to Glen Oak for the summer to run away from Wilson because everything was starting to feel real with him, and that scared her, so she bolted.
I think I came back here for the summer because I was running away from Wilson.
She does love Wilson.
It just seemed easier to leave town than to have to face another possible failed relationship.
But she was so scared to lose Wilson that she decided to run away across the country to be with her ex-boyfriend or her old boyfriend or her current boyfriend. I don't know what boyfriend it is, but to go be with Robbie instead of Wilson. That's how scared she was of losing Wilson. Because that is a decision that makes a lot of sense to me. She calls out Robbie for not actually wanting to date Mary, but just wanting to date her family. And Robbie's like, yeah.
You don't want to date me. You want to date my family.
No, I want to marry your family.
So Mary and Robbie officially break up, even though they still care about each other a lot. They still love each other, but they're not in love anymore. You know, Robbie is in love with her family and Mary is in love with Wilson. So that worked out. Wilson then shows up. You know, he came over to Glen Oak to chase Mary down. He wants her to move back to New York with him and be with him forever and ever. He gives her an ultimatum. He's forcing her to make a choice right now.
I love you, and I think I can make you happy, but it's really your decision now. So what's it gonna be? Glen Oak or New York?
Whoa. What choice is Mary gonna make? That's actually how the season finale ends, is with Mary trying to decide whether or not she's gonna go back to New York with Wilson. It's like so dramatic. I don't see why she wouldn't pick Wilson. She already said that she loves him and wants to be with him, and she's already made it very clear that she does not want to leave New York. She enjoys being there, but they're still leaving it on this cliffhanger like, what is she gonna do? But we're not done yet, all right? There's plenty more storylines to cover here. We'll talk about Lucy and Jeremy next. Jeremy is back in town. He's here for graduation. He's staying with an aunt, apparently, and he is making out with Lucy in the hallway. Jeremy got accepted to Juilliard. So he's gonna do that. And Lucy's like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I want him to pursue his dream, but I also want to be with him. And she's talking to Mike about it. And Mike is like, well, there's only one thing you can do.
Couldn't you just move back east?
My parents will never let me.
There is a way to make it harder for your parents to stop you.
And then it sort of cuts and we don't know what Mike says. Immediately after this, Lucy goes to the pool hall and proposes to Jeremy.
I got your message. You said you had a solution to our problem?
Will you marry me? Hello? I said, will you marry me?
Yeah. They immediately call his parents to tell them the good news and then go ring shopping. They're officially engaged, like right now. After they're already engaged is when we find out that Jeremy and Mary supposedly hooked up, but they didn't, but Mary said they did. And so then Lucy's all upset. It's like this whole, oh wow, I'm so mad at Mary. How could she possibly sleep with my boyfriend? What? How horrible.
What happened wasn't his fault. You must have seduced him.
What?
Don't act all innocent. You probably had some wacky plan and he got caught up in it.
No blame toward Jeremy. No, it's all directed at Mary. Even though, like, If they did hook up in New York, by the way, Jeremy would have been cheating on Lucy and Mary wouldn't have known. But for some reason, Lucy is so adamant that Mary is the one at fault here. She's so mad and still so insistent on marrying Jeremy, who supposedly cheated on her. And then she has a conversation with Jeremy. And of course, we don't get to see the conversation where that's resolved. We just hear that Lucy talked to Jeremy and it's all good now. Lucy forgives Mary. There's literally no problems. It's all fine. Also, Lucy, because she's getting married to Jeremy, she is going to move out to New York with Jeremy while he goes to Juilliard. Since Lucy's going to be moving to New York, Eric is like, oh, I can get you into this school that I went to for my pastor school degree stuff, which is great. All right, that's all going to work out for Lucy. Except then Mike comes back into the picture. At the end of all this, Mike just like turns into an incel on Lucy suddenly. Like it's just so weird.
You actually asked Jeremy to marry you? You don't even know him.
You told me to get engaged.
I never thought you would actually get engaged. I actually thought you'd go, hey, why am I going all the way to New York for love when Mike Pierce is right here?
He starts telling Lucy that he loves her and that she only ever chooses guys that hurt her and cheat on her.
Why do you always choose the wrong guys? You pick the ones who cheat on you and break your heart. You never pick the nice ones.
Says he wants to be in a relationship with her now and starts trying to make out with her.
This is not happening.
Wake up. It's happening.
Mike! This man is no longer in my good graces. Like, he was confusing before, but now he is just absolutely insane. Again, you've been so wishy-washy about this woman this entire time, and now that she's about to get married to the guy you set her up with, you're like, oh, you only go out with guys who cheat on you. Where did that fucking come from, man? What's wrong with you? Lucy tells Mike that she only sees him as a friend, and she wants to marry Jeremy. So, yay! Lucy and BJ Novak get a happily ever after. Also, since Lucy is going to New York and Eric can get her into this other school, the entire storyline this season with Mike was absolutely pointless. Like, the entire reason they became friends is because he was helping her apply to different colleges and helped her get accepted, but now she's not even gonna go with that. Like, she's just going where her dad can get her in. Also, let's not forget that Lucy is 18. She's 18. Oh, girl, I wish you the best, and I really hope that BJ Novak was not the love bomber he was appearing to be. I guess we'll just have to see. John and Priscilla's wedding is coming up, and Cheryl wants to go with Matt, okay? She wants their relationship to be public, but unfortunately, Matt has still not told Robbie or his family that he's dating Cheryl. Matt starts acting really weird about it, and Cheryl feels like she's become Matt's dirty little secret, and she doesn't like that. She overhears Matt telling John that he's worried that his family won't approve of him dating Cheryl, and that's why he's nervous to invite her to the wedding. Immediately after that, Cheryl walks up to him and breaks up with him.
You're not the man I thought you were, and I don't want to see you anymore. Goodbye, Matt.
When faced with the consequences of his own fucking actions, Matt's like, oh, I should tell my family that I'm dating Cheryl. So guess what he does? He goes to Annie, Ruthie, and Mary. He finds them in the garage and he goes, oh, by the way, I'm dating Cheryl, and then leaves. Like, that's it. And then he goes to Cheryl. He's like, okay, I told my family that we're dating. Matt. No, you didn't. You told 3. Oh my God. Just expecting them to share all the news, and I guess Robbie's gonna hear about it through the grapevine, but it's so fucking immature. But he goes to Cheryl and he's like, okay, I did what you want, and I told them that we're dating, and it's great, and you can come to the wedding with me. Because he did that, Cheryl invites him in to have sex with him. And it's very clear that that is what she is wanting when she invites him in.
Do you want to come in?
But 2 minutes ago, we were broken up.
And now we're back together, and I want to take our relationship to the next level.
The next level is...
Yeah.
And the whole rest of their storyline is them just talking about how Matt does not want to have sex with her and she wants to have sex right now. She breaks up with him because she's like, okay, well, if you're not going to have sex with me, then I don't want to date you. But then Matt comes back over later and says that he really, really, really wants to date her. He just wants to wait until they're married to have sex. And Cheryl's like, okay, fine. And that's That's it. That's their whole storyline. It was mostly about how Cheryl really wanted to fuck him. Speaking of John's wedding, though, yeah, John and Priscilla are getting married. She still has not spoken to her parents at all, even though supposedly the entire reason they didn't want her to marry John was just that he didn't know that she had been married before, and now that she's told him and he has no problem with it, there shouldn't be a problem, right? No, they still haven't talked to her parents. Priscilla's like super worried that they're gonna sabotage the wedding, but in the end, they have been getting secret intel from Priscilla's aunt that she talks to all the time, so the parents have been able to keep tabs on John and Priscilla this entire time. They know everything, and they show up to participate in the wedding festivities, and they're suddenly being super supportive and stuff. Like, oh yeah, we've been keeping tabs on you. Like, why didn't you just call her? Why were you so fucking prideful that you couldn't just call her and ask her how she's doing and say, sorry, I overreacted and disowned you for literally no reason? But then John has a family emergency, so the whole family has to go out of state to help with another family member or something. The wedding has to be postponed, but then Priscilla's parents fly everybody out and like pay for stuff and arrange for them to have a little wedding ceremony out with John's family at the hospital with the family emergency or whatever. So they do their wedding in New York during a family emergency. Thanks to Priscilla's parents. Wow, they saved the wedding. What a stupid story.
Welcome to the family, Priscilla. I know you and John will be very happy together.
Ruthie in these 2 episodes basically just is like an exposition goblin. Not much happens with her other than she's there to just explain what's going on. It's pretty funny.
No, ever since she moved back here this summer with her dad, they made some stupid pact to be friends. Robbie lied to Mary. Mary lied to Robbie. Wilson's here. Lucy's engaged to Jeremy. Matt's dating Cheryl. Oh, and Mary had adult relations with Jeremy.
What? All hail the exposition goblin.
Jeremy was planning on moving back here this summer, so he could go to Crawford in the fall with Lucy. Then he got into Juilliard. He told her he wouldn't go, but she didn't want him to give up Juilliard for her. So she told him she'd go to college back east so they could stay together. But she figured you guys probably wouldn't let her go with Jeremy. Since they haven't known each other that long, so they got engaged. That way, no matter what, they'd have to stay together, and it'd be hard for you guys to stop her.
Simon and Dina have been hanging out again. They had plans to just hang out as friends, but just so happens this very day, Dina's boyfriend breaks up with her, and Simon takes this opportunity to profess his undying love for Dina. They decide to go to a movie theater and make out with each other for literally 4 hours. Later, they go back to Dina's house, and her boyfriend is there, her ex-boyfriend, I guess, being like, babe, I'm sorry, I want you back. I shouldn't have broken up with you.
I came here to apologize. Now I'm apologizing. I was a jerk. I'm sorry. So, you still my girlfriend or what?
Dina chooses her ex-boyfriend to become her boyfriend again and dumps Simon, and he's very, very sad about it. He is absolutely heartbroken because he knows he's in love with her, and he tells her that they can't be friends anymore because he loves her. Poor Simon, man. Pretty rough season for this bad boy. The final plot we're going to talk about, which I would say is probably the most interesting of all the season finale shenanigans. Eric and Annie, all their drama sort of comes to a head here. Eric had told Annie that he was still counseling Serena, but it was going to be in a group setting. But then at some point, Eric starts having private counseling sessions with Serena again because the group sessions just weren't working for her. And Eric resumes these private counseling sessions after Annie explicitly asked him not to, and he agreed to that. I'm so pissed at him.
How did your group counseling session go tonight?
Oh, group is Wednesday night. I had Serena tonight. And you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Group sessions just weren't working for her.
This escalates to Serena inviting Eric over to her house, and he goes over to her house to counsel her, and she tries to seduce him.
I have been dropping hints for weeks waiting for you to make a move. I want you, and I know you want me. Question is, are you gonna do anything about it?
Which Annie did see coming. She was right about that. Even though she didn't really have evidence for it, she was right. Eric put himself in this situation, okay? Let's make that very clear because Eric is so bad at boundaries. Eric is the worst at boundaries. He's trying to help people, but no, you let this woman try and seduce you in her own home. Oh, boundaries, Eric. Annie doesn't really have that much of a right to be upset though right now because Annie is experiencing a bit of her own romantic predicament at the moment. A guy from the church named James Carver has been all over Annie, all right? This man is calling Annie all the time. He's offering to help her with stuff for free all the time and like trying to talk to her all the time while Eric's been hanging out with Serena all the time. So Annie and Eric both kind of maybe doing things they shouldn't be doing.
James is always helping you out with something, isn't he?
Jealous. It's really strange, honestly. The behavior from Annie with this James guy, not the Annie I know, not the Annie I'm familiar with, but she is letting this man flirt with her, letting him do things for her, and she seems okay with that. And everyone can tell that this man is in love with her. Like, Eric calls it out, even Ruthie calls it out, and Ruthie, like, hates this man. He keeps coming over, and Ruthie's like, get away from my mom. I don't want you here.
I know you like my mom, and you seem like a nice man, but you still can't have my mom. She's already taken.
I know.
As long as we're clear on that.
He proceeds to kiss Annie. Yeah, fully kiss Annie on the lips. And it was not a consensual kiss, I will say. He just grabbed her face and kissed her. Not cool.
I haven't felt this way about a woman since my wife died. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
This whole thing is resolved way too easily. It's honestly ridiculous how easily this just like gets swept under the rug. There are serious problems in this marriage right now, and everyone's like, oh, it's okay. That's that. How this gets resolved. Literally, this is what happens. James, who kissed Annie, goes up to Eric in his own home, you know, and is like, Eric, I need to talk to you. They go into Eric's office, and James tells him that he's in love with Annie and that he kissed her, and that he wants Eric to help him not be in love with Annie anymore. At the same time, while James is in Eric's office talking to him about how he kissed his wife, Serena shows up at the front door to talk to Annie. This is the second time that this has happened, where some sexy woman has been all super into Eric and has tried to hit on him, and Eric's been oblivious to it. And not only that, but the woman also comes to the house to confess that she was hitting on him and apologize. That's 2 times that this exact scenario has happened. So Serena's like, well, yeah, your husband, I was really trying. I was trying to go for him, but he didn't even want me. Ugh.
So, today I decided I'd make my big move. I'd invite him over and seduce him. All he wants to do is help me. It's so frustrating.
This is one of the most unrealistic things I've seen on this show so far, is women who try to get men to cheat coming and confessing their crimes and like asking for forgiveness instead of just disappearing. You know, it's just so strange.
I came here tonight to apologize for
trying to steal my husband.
Exactly.
I mean, you come over to apologize to the wife? Like, what? The nerve of these women.
All he wanted to do was counsel me.
Well, after this whole thing, Eric and Annie work out their issues. And then at church that Sunday, Serena and James are both there. And Annie and Eric are like, I have someone that I want you to meet. And then they set them up with each other, James and Serena. I'm sure we can only assume that it's a happily ever after as far as they're concerned. True love at first sight. Obviously. That was 7th Heaven Season 5. I hope this was an enjoyable journey for you, as enjoyable as it was for me. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to be sexy and hot, okay? Everyone who subscribes becomes that way. Don't ask me, I don't know. It just happens. Also, please like this video if you like this video and if you want me to make more 7th Heaven, which I'm gonna watch more 7th Heaven. Follow me on Instagram if you want to do that. It's in the description. Okay, that's all.
She was drinking and driving.
In the nude.
Just another case of a good girl gone bad.
Thanks for watching. Bye!